Hi, welcome to Rogue City Rumble. The first, I think, not the first event, but like the first, like, almost NACSL type event by Rogue's Gallery. This is me, Shafir. I'm with NinjoOb, and we have our Shafir Kraazy. What's going on, NinjoOb?
Hey everyone, looking forward to a nice 1v1 qualifiers leading up to the main event. This is the first qualifier. There's another one tomorrow, two more next week.
Yeah, there are 4 qualifiers. Essentially, 4 players are going to qualify from each qualifier. So it's going to be Friday and Saturday this week. Today being the first qualifier, and next week, Friday's at 8 p.m. Eastern, Saturday's at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to have 16 players going to this tournament. Are you planning on playing this, Ninja?
You know what? I thought about it, but looking at the competition that's linked up already, avoid embarrassing myself.
I was thinking about it too. I think I want to play just so I have the opportunity to play a lot of really high quality players in this tournament that I don't have a chance to practice with. And I'm just gonna maybe use it as an opportunity to steal some new plays. Tips.
Yeah, it's always fun. I think even if you don't have them, and this is a game that people listening in to the stream, it's always fun just to try. It doesn't matter if you win or not. Like a community building event, so feel free to try. Signing up is free, and there's a prize pool. So I think there's only positives here.
Yeah, speaking of the prize pool, I think we've already reached our goal of over $400. I think there was some stretch goals to have a live event for the draft, for the qualifiers and setting up the groups. But if you wanna, I guess, contribute and do your part, there's a match arena up. I think the Nightbox is both filling. And what is the code? The code is Rumble21. And so if you guys, before this all starts, you guys can just go in and just get some free. I don't even know how match arena works and how these codes generate free money, but just put in Rumble21 and let's increase this prize pool. There's a lot of really high quality players and some really high quality StarCraft. So I'm really excited for this.
Yeah. In case this link doesn't show up, it's matcherino.com/tournament/41660. So you get on there and you put the code, like Shafir just mentioned,
Rumble21.
Generate that free 25 cents. Ruin the economy by printing money, but you know what? It's worth it because it's for StarCraft.
It's okay for StarCraft, exactly. You know, we can let economies go bankrupt if it's StarCraft. And just to reiterate, today is the first of the 4 qualifiers. 4 players from tonight will qualify. Looking at the Chalan, we have some really, really good players tonight. I think usually the first qualifier has usually all of the high talents, and then 4 players will qualify, and those 4 players can't play tomorrow, and they can't play next week. So this is probably, in my opinion, probably the highest quality we're going to see. I'm sure some of the players, from what I've seen in some chatter, they're strategically avoiding the first night, letting some of the more top echelon players get out of the way, and so they have a better chance at qualifying. Are you doing that, Ninja? Or,
oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I have to. If I want to have a shot at making it to the top 4, definitely gonna sneak in at the last minute.
Oh, the bracket is done. I'm excited. So a lot of the players here tonight are actually the very, very best, and not even just in NA, but in the world. Like we have guys like Kraazy, we have Boa, we have Models, we have Hawk, we have Raz, we have. Oh man, just looking through this list, I am glad I'm not playing tonight and I'm here casting. Really excited for this. So looking at the bracket, we see Models and Tim in the first round. That's a notable one. We all know Models. He has a stream. I think it's twitch.com. That's Models TV, I believe. If you're around, you should give him a follow. He's a great 2300 Protoss, very entertaining. And obviously Tim. I think everyone in the NA scene is familiar with Tim. He's a very, very strong Protoss.
Yeah, we have Hawk versus Raz. That's gonna be pretty good. High level PvZ, that's for sure. I think Hawk does stream a bit, not too often from what I've seen. I'm not sure if Raz streams at all though, but that's definitely a match that we might be observing.
Hawk must have a lot of ZVP practice, especially just from last week. He played in the last Rogues Gallery event, Hawk and Boa. He showed a really, really good showing against Boa, who is probably one of the top 2 NA players right now.
Oh
Right?
yeah, that's for sure. Hawk is super strong. I've seen him play. You know what? Yeah, the first time I saw Hawk play, I was actually watching a random Flash VOD, and Flash actually queued a ladder game against Hawk. Well, obviously Hawk didn't do too hot there, but since then I've seen him play, and he's a really good Zerg. So it's gonna be hopefully we get to see some of his games.
And as for Raz, he's actually the coach of my CPL team, so I've got to see him play a significant amount in the last week or so against Rhett, who is no slouch. Rhett is one of the strongest Zergs in the world, so Raz definitely has a lot of good PvZ practice. I'm actually really excited. That's actually probably the matchup in the first round that I want to see the most. Raz and Hawk. What else do we have here? We have Striker and Art of Turtle, Herbmon and Just. Just is a really, really strong Protoss, and Herbmon. We all know Herbmon. He streams every day. He's just a mainstay of the NA community. Oh, this Kraazy versus Jaeyoon.
Oh
Do we
yeah,
know if Jaeyoon is playing a Protoss or Zerg?
it might be Zerg. He was streaming Zerg today, I think, but maybe he wants to go easy mode and is gonna pick Protoss. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely Protoss is easy mode. But I do know that Jaeyoon, for his Protoss, thinks his PvZ is his strongest matchup. Unless I'm spreading lies, I guess playing Zerg for so many years will give you that insight. So that's actually another amazing matchup. And Kraazy is probably you could argue that Kraazy is the best player in NA right now. There's some really, really good matchups going on right in this bracket here. Wow.
Yeah, we also have a few underdogs. We have Laser Snipe, CPL admin extraordinaire, who's in there. Oh, we have Tai Tooth.
The
Not that
return of
he's
Tai 2.
yeah, not that he's an underdog or anything, but he's actually has a bye. He's already in round 2.
Yeah, he does. He does have a bye first round. Tai 2, if you guys are familiar with the scene, he's like a top 3, top 5 NA Zerg. He has a very unique style, very aggressive, very creative, but it works. He's taking a break, I think, the last couple of months. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing him play. He was actually the coach of my CPL team last season, and so he was always engaged. He was always around. This is my first time seeing him play in a very long time. I'm actually really excited to see the return of Tai 2. Like, I'm actually genuinely very excited. I can't wait to see him play. I think he's going to play the winner of Snipe and Machine. And we just saw Machine a couple weeks ago against Mars, the up and coming NA Terran, one of my teammates on NAS. So Machine is very strong. So that should be an exciting bracket to follow.
Yeah, that's for sure. We also have Crane. We have Father. We have who else? Armada. Just listing the names that I'm familiar with. I know that they're all maybe not favorites, but they surely can cause upsets if their opponents don't take them seriously.
Yeah, Crane just had a grudge match against Keen a couple of days ago. So Crane is
Yeah,
in
that's
good
right.
form. He's been practicing grinds every day. Father, we all know Father. He's the mainstay of the NA scene. And I think he took a little time off, but he came back as of recent trying to prepare for his qualifications. I'm excited to see how he plays. We have Red Duck, who's a very, very strong player. We have Just, I think I mentioned him earlier, Armada, one of my teammates, very strong, and he plays every day. Should be in form. We have Keen and Nesh. That's another. I forgot. I didn't even see that at the bottom. Keen and Nesh should be another great matchup. ZVT. Nesh is one of my CPL coaches as well. Nicest guy in the world. I can't wait to see. Yeah, hopefully, I mean, we're not gonna be able to watch all these first round games actually, so this is gonna be it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's looking really good. I'm quite impatient to get into some games. I hope we can get this started real soon.
I see why I missed Jaeyoon and Kraazy. Kraazy put his name as Kraazy, Krozzy, deciding to spell things wrong, similar to how Crane spells his name wrong. So, you do know Crane is with a C, and Kraazy, he should have been Khrossy.
Yep. trying real hard to be not edgy, but trying to be unique there.
Yeah, before we start getting into a game, I'm gonna plug the Matcherino one more time. It's matcherino.com/tournament/41660. The code is Rumble21. And I believe Rogue Gallery also set up a Patreon if you want to support not just this event, but if you guys have seen Rogue Gallery events, it's produced really well. Shout out to Strom Carlin. She's the backbone of Rogues Gallery and organize all these events and make sure just really moving the NA scene forward. If if you want to help her, I guess start more tournaments, smaller tournaments, show matches, this is the way to do it. I think the Nightbot will give us a Patreon link. And another reiteration of the qualification dates. Today, Friday at 8 p.m., Saturday 2 p.m. this week and next week. So January 15th, January 16th, January 22nd, and January 23rd. The actual group selection is going to be on January 29th. And we're actually going to seed. So out of each of these qualifiers, there's going to be a top seed. Whoever wins. So while all four will qualify, we're going to play through. And the group selection, the top seed of each qualifier is going to do a group selection. So get ready to mark that date on your calendar for that stream. And then the actual tournament group A is going to start on February 5th. And it's going to be one group per week. So you guys have a lot of good NA tournament, NA streaming to come. NA content? What is the word?
just StarCraft in general.
Yeah. Between this and ASTL starting, and I'm just excited. I don't know if I'm going to get any work done. I've been working from home, thank God. So you know how that goes.
Oh yeah, I know how much work we get done from home. I'm not complaining. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's 12 o'clock. Do I need a nap? Maybe I'll take a nap. Maybe I'll play some StarCraft. Maybe I'll talk shit to Crane. You know, it's anything goes. I think Kraazy, shout out to Kraazy, our observer. Kraazy is another guy in the scene. He's a Terran. He's been improving significantly as of recently. Recently, I watched him beat Tim, and I thought Kraazy sucked. So now I look at Kraazy in a whole different perspective. He's got vulture harass. He doesn't just sit in his base all day. So Kraazy's our observer. He's a very, very smart player. Doesn't have an attack button, but a good friend of mine. So I'm excited to. That's gonna be our observer. Hopefully he doesn't miss anything crazy. No pressure. He can hear me.
Yeah, no pressure. We can just blame him for anything that goes wrong. We can just blame him.
Oh man, just another run through of these players. I'm just really excited, dude. There's Kraazy, there's Models, there's Striker, Nash, Crane, Father, Machine, Models, Boa. It's gonna be dope. I'm actually really excited to see who wins the first, who is the top seed in the first qualifier, because we have Kraazy here, right? We have Models here. We have Boa here. Like this is like a bragging rights thing because all the top players are here. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but like these are some of the top guys in NA.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a really hotly contested first place, first seed out of this group. That's for sure. It's really hard to tell what's gonna happen right now. I mean, we're way too early in the tournament, but from the top side of the brackets, I mean, maybe Models, Kraazy. I mean, I mean, I'm just going over all the names. Yeah, we'll just see. I find that the top half of the bracket is really stacked. Maybe a little bit more than the bottom half. It's gonna be a really tough fight to get to the top to the semis in that top half. I mean, Jaeyoon, Kraazy, Boa, Hawk, Raz, Models, Taitu. I mean, that's a lot of talent right there.
Somebody's got to call challenge about their random number generator, and Artosis might call them. I think he finds it unfair. Yeah, a lot of the top players are on the top half, but there's some really strong players in the second bracket as well. There's Striker, there's Just, there's Nash, there's Keen, there's like Red Duck. So I mean, it's still a very strong both ways. But I'm looking. Oh yeah, I don't think we discussed the maps. So it's not gonna be loser pick. First map is always gonna be Polypoid. Second map is always gonna be Eclipse. Third map is gonna be Sylphid. Three pretty balanced maps, I believe. I'm sure there are people out there that are going to disagree. Oh, this is a Protoss map, but it's going to be best of three all the way through. Single elimination, I believe. Unless if I'm wrong, please correct me. I'm pretty sure it's single elimination. Yeah, best of three. Top four qualify.
Yeah, I think the map pool is for the qualifiers at least is really nice. I think Eclipse and Sylphid are all fan favorites. They're also very recent maps, so no one's sick of them just yet, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think once we get into a game and we have a matchup on a map, we'll be able to talk about those maps a little bit more. But yeah,
I'm kind of happy to see that Fighting Spirit and Circuit Breakers are gone, at least from this map. Like, I mean, it's great to have in ladder, and we know we all need our bread and butter, but I feel like there's so much more flavor, and the games are way more interesting on some of these newer maps. I think Polyploid is one of the best new maps to come out. Sylphid is one of the best new maps to come out. Eclipse one of the best new maps to come out. So like I think really, I don't know who picked the maps. Maybe it was Strom, maybe it was Kraazy, maybe it was someone else. But whoever did it, good job. And I think the first game is going to be Snipe versus Machine on Polyploid.
Let's get going.
I'm excited to see this. Machine we just saw last week against Mars. The really good showing. Mars pulled it out, but that was a nail biter of a series. Like it was as close as the series gets. I think I remember that one game on Optimizer that Mars had a huge comeback. Oh, start casting the game. On the top right, we have Machine, the Gray Zerg.
And in the top left, we have my boy Laser Snipe as the green Protoss.
If you guys don't know Snipe, he actually is the organizer for CPL. Shout out to Snipe. CPL is one of the biggest events in the foreign scene. So, you know, major kudos to Snipe. What do you know about these players, Ninja?
I'll come out and say it. I think Machine is slightly favored here. Laser Snipe is maybe 100 or 200 MMR below him. Although PVZ might be one of his stronger matchups. I know he complains about PvP all day. Probably the only Protoss in existence to do that. So I'm hoping his PVZ is going to be stronger, or at least he whines less about it.
Yeah, no, yeah. If you guys know Snipe, as me and you both do, as we're both teammates of Snipe, his favorite word is Tasagi, which is, you know, but his strongest matchup is Protoss versus Zerg. I don't know much about Machine. I haven't really played with him much. I saw him against Mars with the ZVT. ZVT is very strong. I do think Machine is a favorite here. I think he has probably 200 MMR on Snipe. But I do know that Snipe's been practicing every day. PVZ is his strongest matchup. He plays more of a, I guess, a classic style. He doesn't really do the gate expand. He plays a very much forge expand into like an 8 gate push. He has very solid basic play.
Drone almost going down here. Oh my God, Snipe is out for blood already. That's pretty crazy, but looks like the drone's gonna get away here.
Snipe the 100 APM assassin. Oh, he got it. Did he get this? That's a huge blow. Do you think Machine is nervous? You know, Machine can't possibly be losing drones on the regular.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think that was unexpected. I'm not a PVZ expert, but that probe scouted first right after the pylon. I mean, it blocked the hatchery, and still no hatchery, in fact. But maybe Machine wasn't expecting that, wasn't expecting a probe to start fighting with the drone right off the bat.
Yeah, I think with the current meta with the gate expand, so with gate expand, you really send your probe after your gateway. So when you see it, you don't. I guess Zergs probably don't expect the early probe as much. I think Machine intended to do a soul patch, but once that probe harass came in, he threw down the pool. He actually lost the drone completely. Was not expecting it, and so he actually Snipe actually forces the pool first now.
Yeah, I'll be honest right now. I don't know much about PVZ, so I'm gonna let you carry most of the relevant discussion about this game. But Machine looks like he's gearing up to take a third, so that's looking fairly normal, at least to my Chobo Terran eyes.
No worries, and we know all Terrans are Chobos. That's fine. And yeah, so Machine is putting up his third at around 3 minutes, very standard. Let's take a look at the main to see what the larva count looks like for the Zerg. I can see he hasn't produced any Zerglings yet, so it looks like he's joining up. I don't know too much about Machine style. I do know he's more of a macro-oriented player, plays a very safe style. That's very generic terms, but I know he's an old school player he was in media back of the original elite NA team. So Machine is a mainstay of the NA community, I believe. And if I'm wrong, someone please correct me. That's my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, he's been around forever, and I think Machine, you know, I don't know him personally on any level, in fact, but from what I can tell, he's a very nice guy, and therefore it might I don't know. I mean, I think it means that he's gonna play macro, and he's not gonna do anything sneaky. He's not gonna do anything crazy. He's just gonna play a fair, straight game, and yeah, I think he'll do well against Laser Snipe.
Yeah, it looks like he's got the lair going up. He's only made 2 links, so he's going for a very eco-friendly style. If we go back into snipe space, let's see what his core timing looks like. Let's see what his so his core is up. Let's see what his Stargate should be going up soon. He doesn't have the second gas up yet. He doesn't have quite the gas to make this target. So it looks like Snipe's timings are a little off. You should be able to make this target as soon as your core finishes. So perhaps he took that gas a little late. Let's.
So yeah, so tell me, you know, what are the possibilities here for Protoss? I know, usually you'll go for Corsairs. Usually you get more than one. Usually I think you get air upgrades. And then what can we expect to see from Snipe, you think?
I think Snipe plays a very standard style. Well, I think we'll expect to see a 730 push with 4 or 5 Corsairs, +1 speed lots, +1 Corsair. Let's see what that building is, Kraazy. We need to know if that's a Hydra, Gen, or a Spire in the Zerg base. Okay, so Spire going down, very standard timings. We don't see a second gas yet from the Zerg, so it's probably just going to go into a 5-hatch Hydra. From Snipe, I think we could probably expect him to go. He's getting the Dragoon to snipe the Overlord. So actually, let's go back to Snipe's base. I wonder if he's skipping a Corsair, because this Dragoon, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. So he's doing a 4-gate speed lot push. There's got to be a Citadel on the top of that base, Kraazy, or somewhere up there. There's no Citadel. Where's the Citadel? He's doing a 4-gate without Citadel. One of these buildings has. It's not. This is okay. So Snipe bringing out like going into his bag of builds. Maybe he's doing a 4-gate Dragoon build. Is there range spinning? So because we don't see a Citadel, so it's not speed lot, so it has to be range. Can we take a look at the core, Kraazy? Yep. So it's going to be a 5-gate goon push. So Snipe pulling out his bag of builds, knowing that, you know, and nothing bad to say about it, but like Machine is the favorite here. So Snipe going into the bag of builds and seeing if he can snag a quick win with 5-gate goons.
And there's a random Dragoon there at the third. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it's doing there, but a random Dragoon from Snipe went to his mineral only on the high ground, and then no one's doing anything about it.
Well, if you play Protoss, right, you know that Dragoons don't listen. So what probably happened is that Dragoon was probably that gateway was probably rallied inside the Bane.
Oh yeah.
And the Zealot blocked, so Dragoon went out that way. Snipe doesn't want to bring it back in because he doesn't want the links to see it. You saw that he went out of his way to use that Dragoon to kill that Overlord, because the biggest thing about this build is the surprise. We see Machine going mutas, which is actually not a bad counter to this, but if Snipe gets out enough Dragoons in time, it might just snowball. He might actually take this game. But we see Machine having one. He knows something odd is up, because there should be a Corsair out by now. So if I'm Machine, I would be thinking, hey, it's a speed lot rush, right? But it's actually gonna be Dragoon. So let's see if Snipe can pull this off. There's 2 Sunkens going up. No, there's 1 Sunken and 1 Hydra done. 6 mutas. If they go into the base, they're gonna see what happens. There's only 1 cannon protecting this, so Snipe loses too many probes. I don't think he can really pull this off.
Yeah, but this is suspicious, right? I mean, you see, well, I mean, it's more than suspicious. You see so many goons. I don't know much about PvZ, but that's very strange to me to see that many goons already. So.
Oh no, Machine definitely knows now. If you see 4 goons this early, so there's only 2 things it could be. It's most likely speed loss, but other possibility is the Dragoons. And now he knows it's definitely the Dragoons. Snipe positioning that first cannon a little poorly. It doesn't actually protect his probes. He's only mining from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probes in the natural mineral line, so he's already significantly far behind. If you look at the population, Machine's almost, I guess he's 10 away, but like Snipe should be pushing right now. With he should have 8, 9 Dragoons at this point. He does, but he should be running across the map and rallying his gateways, because the surprise is gone, right? So now he's just got the blunt force. So he needs to go do this now. Machine frantically throwing up some Sunkens.
Yeah, this push is looking pretty good. I mean, Sunkens aren't going to do too hot against Dragoons, right? And mutas, I mean, there's a fair amount of mutas, but just mutas alone, I mean, they can get kited and they don't deal that much damage without support, right? So I'm expecting to see maybe Lings or something come out, but it's looking actually pretty
These Dragoons with these goon range, they can actually take down the Hydra down without taking a single Sunken shot. Snipe, wow. Snipe might actually be pulling this off. He's
gonna do it.
He might be, yeah, wow. He's taking out these Sunkens. How many mutas are his? Probably 7, 8 mutas. That's not enough. Snipe's got to kite a little bit, don't take any Sunken hits. All the Sunkens are down. It's just these mutas. If Snipe is rallying Dragoons,
there's a lot of mutas though.
Oh man, has Machine done it? There's a dozen mutas. He's making more because he's not making Hydras, right? Oh, I think Machine just defended. I think if Snipe pushed just like 20 seconds earlier, I think he could have had that. Now it's just gonna snowball.
he definitely waited a bit. I thought he was gonna go right away, as you don't want to let you don't want to give the Zerg any time to prepare for this push. I would think, but now I mean now the mutas are just overrunning all the reinforcements, and this is actually now looking pretty poorly for Snipe, as he has no tech, no robo, no citadel. I mean, what is he gonna do from here?
And the biggest thing is no Stargate, and we have a Zerg that is not gonna make Hydras. He's gonna make mutas. He's setting up his fourth. He's got a dozen mutas. He's probably upgrading muta armor right now. Once mutas get armor, these dragoons are useless. They essentially are just taking with the mutas. It's I don't know. I don't see Machine giving up map control. I mean, he has air control. He has 3 cannons up Snipe, but all he's got are dragoons, and every single dragoon as it comes out is gonna get attacked by mutas. And it's just gonna get worse. I mean, he's got 7 meters left only, but if you look at the population right now, right, Machine's at 70, and Machine's at, what is that, 93? Snipe is that are in his 60s. Machine's got his 4th going up. If you know PvZ at all, you know that you never want the Zerg to be ahead of you in supply. That's a very, very bad sign, especially this early. So I think Snipe's in a bad position here. It's a very dire position.
Yeah, it's definitely looking bad. I think any matchup when the Zerg is ahead is terrible. So, from here, I mean, is there any way back for Snipe? What can he do? I mean, just making dragoons nonstop is what it looks like. That's what he's doing. But I mean, I feel like he needs to switch up. Does he have some sort of timing or a desperate attempt, do you think?
I mean, the only thing I could possibly see working is if he already had a robo up, right, and if he did like a 2 Reaver push with these dragoons, and came out with like 2 control groups of dragoons and 2 Reavers and a shuttle, and tried to just crack the main. I think that would be his only chance. But I don't think he has a robo up. I don't think he's anywhere close. He's got a citadel, which that's kind of seems like what he's gonna do is just gonna do one last dragoon zealot push. That's going to be, I think, his only chance. But at this point, I actually think there's really, unless Machine, goes to work, just leaves right now and leaves his computer on, I don't think there's any chance Snipe has to take this game back.
Yeah, unless Machine literally just leaves and goes to work instead of playing this game out.
Yeah, unless he calls an Uber right now, I don't think there's a chance.
Yeah, his supply is so far ahead. I mean, I think he just needs to make units. I think that's his win con. It's as simple as just making stuff, turning that larva into eggs, into hydras or lings or whatever he wants, and whenever Snipe moves out, I think he'll just steamroll him and take the game.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at Machine's main. Let's see what his tech is looking at. Is he up? So he's got a Queen's Nest up. He doesn't have Hive quite started. Assuming this game goes that long, what Dragoons don't do against? They don't do anything against Darkstorm. Assuming that even it gets that far. Protoss is gonna mine out by the 20-minute mark. So there is a end timer to this, because I don't think Machine's gonna let Snipe take a third.
Yeah, and I think Snipe knows, and he's gonna go for it. These are lurkers morphing at the front. I mean, Machine is gonna counterattack, it looks like, or is he bringing those lings back?
I think those are just lings. Yeah, he's probably gonna go in for a surround, and that's exactly what he's doing. I don't think Snipe has a robo, much less an observer. So there's this army is just gonna get surrounded and killed, and I think that's the game.
Yeah, I forgot he doesn't even have observers. There's literally nothing he can do here. I think it's just a matter of the good GG timing, which is after your army gets wiped.
Great job by Machine keeping the other half of the army, to be able to get the dragoons on the comeback. Because I'm sure Machine looked around, didn't see a robo, and was like, "Hey, I know I'm gonna end this game." And so that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Snipe retreats back to his base, but the Zerg just keeps taking bases, and the supply just keeps going up.
Yeah, this is looking like a PVT supply if Machine was the Protoss, and the Protoss is winning by a lot. This is not and if you play Protoss, you know that this is essentially a nightmare scenario. Yeah, Machine is taking a few extra dragoon hits, but I don't think it's actually going to make much of a difference. He might just be clearing supply. It's not. A lurker contain is one of the toughest things to play in StarCraft. I don't play Zerg or Terran, but I imagine it's one of the hardest things to do in StarCraft, period. I see Snipe has a robo, he has an observatory, so he's finally going to be able to see the number of lurkers he has to get out. And maybe then he'll... I hope he doesn't lose too much hope, because there is game 2 to get ready for.
Yeah, going to try and attack a couple of lurkers. I mean, his Dragoons do well, but Wings come in to protect the lurkers here, push them back, and man, this is I mean, Snipe has his work cut out for him, that's for sure.
Yeah, Snipe definitely doing the right thing here. You want to get your Dragoons out front. Normally, though, you have High Templar right now. Snipe's first High Templars are popping out of the gateways right now. And Machine's going to really just press the issue. But he just doesn't have enough Dragoons. He doesn't have any High Templar or any Storm. He has High Templar now. And Machine just forming lurkers right in front of Snipe's face.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think Machine's just going to reinforce his contain faster than Snipe can deal with it, to be honest. I'm surprised that we haven't seen some sort of Hydra flood come out of all the hatcheries, you know, and stream across the map. The Snipe's top left corner right now, but well, maybe Snipe has a chance here. I don't know. There's not that much in the front.
I kind of disagree. I think Snipe's about to mine now. I think you can see Machine's safe style really coming into play. He has Sunkens at every single base. If you look at his 30, he has 3 or 4 Sunkens there. He's got a Spore Colony. Like, even though Snipe didn't have observers, like, he's a very defensive. He knows he has this game. It's up to him not to lose it. And I think he knows that Protoss has a timer. It's PvZ. Protoss is on 2 bases. It's 15 minutes in. If Protoss can't take a third, you don't need to kill the Protoss. The mineral lines will kill the Protoss because, you know, you just don't have any more money.
Yeah.
He's just putting up more bases and setting up a strong contain.
Yeah, that's true. He does have scouts around the map, so I'm sure he's aware of, you know, Snipe is very unlikely to have a third hidden away somewhere. So yeah, it's just a question of running out the clock here. And Snipe, I mean, it's time. It's time.
I think Snipe's gonna do one last push, but I don't think I'll tell you from experience, Zealots don't do well against lurkers, no matter how many times I try. And unless Snipe has a base on another map in another game, he's gonna starve. I think we're just gonna wait to see a Snipe's final push, and it'll be on to game 2. There's only 3 lurkers. That's true. Yeah. Snipe did a good job of killing those lurkers in the front, but there's a Defiler then out. There's Hydras. There's 150 Zerg population, and Protoss is on 1 base, barely. So 3 lurkers is, I think, at this point, it's fine. There's 5 High Templar. He's probably, one of them doesn't have a Storm, the other 2. I think between all those 5, he probably has 6 or 7 Storms. Realistically, because some of them have 2. But that's, let's say you storm your way out of these lurkers and these Hydras, then what? You know, like, it's 30 seconds before Zerg can reinforce this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even if he escapes, you're right. I mean, he would have to double expand at the very least, and I don't think he's gonna get that chance.
Yeah, you want to. The way you double expand in PvZ is if you have a very strong 2-1 push. You have like a 120, 130 population army with 2-1. You have map control. Snipe doesn't have any of these things. And the other thing is that he has 6 or 7 storms, but he just used 1 to attack a lurker, a single lurker. A Machine doing a great job spreading his lurkers, but the real army is behind this, and he sort of wanted Snipe to use a storm because he doesn't want the storm hitting these Hydras, and that's what he's doing. Now he's got a Dark Storm up. Good for Snipe in that he has a lot of Zealots, also great under Dark Storm, but I just can't see this working.
I think Snipe might be able to do it here. I mean, Machine doesn't have a where are these? Okay, well, I mean, yeah, is he even gonna win this? I mean, all right.
Think of this as a TBP, Ninja, right? Protoss is on 6 bases, Terran's on 2, 1 is mined out. Yeah, you push out and you can kill the army in the front, right? But then what? Your army gets, and the Protoss has a remaxed army. This is a very similar situation, except in this situation, Snipe is the Terran.
Yeah, I'm just exactly. You know, as you said it right there. I mean, I'm not used to seeing Protoss units just die. You know, usually they just mess up and there's no consequence. But yeah, I mean, you know, he does break out, and I mean, I'm just trying to find an angle here for Snipe. Because,
no, I definitely agree. And listen, I love Snipe. But I think it's time for game 2. I mean, he's trying to put up this mineral only. There's no gas in this mineral only. It's mineral only. So, you know, you're gonna make more Zealots. You know, he's at 100 minerals right now. Machine has a little bit of a bank. He's got 1,000 gas, so that's good. But I think Machine has probably played this game 10,000 times, as in this scenario, where he's got the lurking contain on the Protoss stuck on 2 bases, and he needs to prevent the third. And he's been doing this for decades, right? So I think Machine's going to feel very, very comfortable in this position. And now with Dark Storm out, he's got this Defiler, he's got all these Hydras, he's macroing well. I think once he he's going to shut down this third for sure. Well, maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe Snipe can prove me wrong. But let's see.
Well, you know what? Snipe does have a lot of gas, so he can make about 20 to 30 Templars, with that amount of gas, based on my experience. So, Templars
Is that
do.
right?
I think my math might be off just a little bit because I have a slight
I think
bias,
the
but
answer is 7. You can make 7 Templars with this gas.
sure, we'll go with 7. But you know what? Just one storm can rip through, easily a 7-8 supply of Zerg. So, I see all these Hydras and Lings. I'm thinking, I mean, Machine, if he attacks in here, he might actually lose this army. So, I mean, we'll see what
That's
happens here.
assuming Machine. Oh, that's a
Oh,
great
geez.
storm.
Well, that's
Okay,
what I'm
maybe
talking
you're
about.
right, Machine. I mean, NinjoOb. Maybe you're onto something here. But he's just got a plague off of Snipe's entire army, and Snipe has no means of. A plague is the worst thing. It's like you
Oh, yeah,
overplayed
that's
this whole
friggin'.
game. You did a gate expand. I mean, Snipe didn't, but like as a Protoss, right? You did a gate expand. You're doing this and that. You have 300 APM, and you get this whole army, and Zerg plagues it. So it feels like it was wasted. It's got to be super deflating to get plagued at this point.
Yeah, these Lings just went toe to toe with some Zealots and actually took out a lot of them. So yeah, I can see. I mean, of course, I'm aware of how broken Plague is and Dark Swarm and all that jazz. But yeah, I mean, he's trying to break. He's trying to break Snipe again here, but I'm not sure if he's gonna. His trades are very inefficient. I think.
I think he can afford to be inefficient at this point.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's more. Yeah.
But it's prolonging the game, is what I'm saying.
For sure. Can we take a quick look at Snipe's upgrades, even though these are plagued Dragoons? So Snipe is at 2-1, right? So that's, I guess, what you would expect. You want him to be at more than that for 21 minutes, but we know how this game went. Machine just knows that he just needs to take out this third or make it incredibly difficult. Snipe's can use all of his resources defending this third. Meanwhile, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 machines on 6 bases.
Oh my god.
Oh
my god.
Oh my god, this looks like plasma. That's what that looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah. This looks like it's supposed to block Pats. Jeez, that
Okay,
and a
that's
Dark
tough
Swarm,
as well.
and Snipe doesn't have a lot of Zealots left. Not that Zealots are good against Lurkers or anything, but it's the only thing that works against Lurkers other than Storm. Is this the finishing move?
Yeah, I think now Machine's supply lead has skyrocketed, and I think now, even with the worst possible engage, I think he's gonna roll through here, and once he takes out the mineral only, I think Snipe will have no choice but the GG.
He's doubled him up in supply. That's absurd. Yeah, not a good, not an enviable position. Snipe has less than a control group of units. One control group, let's say, a couple of Storm Dragoons. Meanwhile, Machine has a full 360 degrees surround on him. And he's going after natural and the third at the same time. Wow.
Yeah, I think yeah, once he collapses on this third, I think it's gonna be game over. For cannons, they don't do very well. For me, cannons is another unit that is another Protoss thing that's invincible, but GG Snipe
GG out. From Snipe. Yeah, he's at about 40-50 probes in this third, and yeah, good game. I think Machine takes the first game. Wow,
yeah, I mean,
good game. Machine just showing his fundamentals and his outcome.
Yeah, I think it's hard to recover from Snipe's build. I mean, again, I'm no expert, but going for goons like that, I don't think there's any way out after that if it doesn't.
Yeah,
work.
but I definitely agree with Snipe's decision to do that build. I think he should have hit it a couple, maybe 30 seconds early, and I think he would have had a legitimate chance at winning that game. Snipe, knowing Machine has just untouchable fundamentals, and taking a risk to try to get that game. And so, I mean, kudos to Snipe for trying that build. It's a good build. I might try to steal that. Maybe I'll ask him later how to do it. I think it's just making Dragoons and Dragoon range, right? That can't be that hard. But Protoss is easy, guys. I'm a Protoss, I'll admit it. But kudos to Snipe.
Yeah, goons are strong. That's for sure. So I mean, obviously, I'm not saying the build is bad. Obviously, but after it fails, I think you have no tech, right? I mean, you need something. You can't just go around with gateway units.
I haven't done the build, but I imagine the only real actual follow-up option you have is to get Reavers, right? A Dragoon Reaver, like Reavers countering Hydra Swarms or like Mutas or something like that. But regardless, like Snipe did manage to pull that game out to like 22, 23 minutes. But at the end of the day, just Machines playing safe, not taking any risks. Did the Lurker contain, got his 6 bases up, and then finally ended it with Dark Swarm as Snipe took his third. So really good job by Machine. Showing I'm excited to see Machine in the next round. I mean, if that happens hypothetically, but like I really like how he's playing, and I want to see more of him.
Yeah, it's always commendable to see Zergs and Protoss play, the standard macro style. It's also, it's a lot of fun. I respect that. I'll say it. I respect that.
Yeah, Snipe pulling out a good build though. I mean, I think you have to get creative sometimes if you're playing a player that you believe or his MMR is significantly higher than yours. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. I mean, that's if I was in Snipe's position, I'd probably do something similar. I'd probably go 4 gate speed a lot, maybe a 9-9 gate. Classic Protoss build. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I wonder how Snipe saw the matchup. Did he think he was, the underdog and he needed a special build, or maybe he just wanted to do a different build just to see, try to catch his opponent off guard. I'm not sure.
Our next game is gonna be Nesh and Striker. So I'm excited. Did they play their first game yet? Let me look at the challenge. Oh, this is the first game. It's on Polypoid. So we have Nesh and Striker. Have you played either of these guys, Ninja?
I I don't think I've played either of them, to be honest, which is surprising, considering
Yeah.
Striker's on was on our team, is on our team, sort of, and Nesh is not too far from our MMR, sort of. So uh, I I haven't played against them, but I have a somewhat decent idea of their skill level. I think Striker is a favorite, being S rank, while Nesh I think is more towards like high B, low A kind of player.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I played Striker I think maybe once or twice. And he smashed me. It looked a lot like that Machine game we just saw with Snipe. And Nash, he's a coach on my CPL team, so I've talked to him a little more recently. He's a very nice guy, very strong Terran. So I'm excited to see this. Striker, you could argue, is probably one of the top Zergs in NA. He definitely is one of the top Zergs in NA. And I know he plays a lot with Jae-yoon, and with all those other top NA players. So I'm excited to see this ZVT on Polypoid, and I think we're about to get started. And you're gonna have to guide me through this because I know very very little about TVZ, much like your PVZ.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So in the top right here, as the purple Zerg, we have Striker.
Striker, the well-known bounty ball UMS professional player, and in the top left we have our blue. It's blue, yeah, it is blue. Blue Terran Nesh. What do you think about TVZ on Polypoid?
Honestly, it's all right. I don't see it play very differently than other maps. You have your main, your natural. The Muta harass is fine. You can try lurker shenanigans if you want. There's some high grounds here and there. Zerg bases are, they're as you can take them as easily as in any other map. I mean, that's not to say that they're easy to take, but I mean, there's nothing really special in terms of the map. At least that's my very humble opinion here.
Got it. Yeah, it's very much like a standard map. It's like an updated Fighting Spirit, right? Fighting Spirit, a little bigger. There's a lot more open, I guess, a lot more of a rush distance between bases. Do Terrans like to go mech a lot at all, or is this is this a medic marine? Like, what do you do on this map?
I think we'll see. I think we'll see bio play. That's what I do, but I don't think I've ever seen mech on this, or have I? I don't think so. I think it's. I think bio is more popular here. The map's very. It's very open. There's a lot of, your marine medics can run around fairly easily on the map. There's not too many, bridges and chokes, and splitting the map half is doable, I guess. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think we'll see bio play.
I think we see Striker going for a 12 patch here. And we can check out his pool timing, its gas timing. So I'm excited to see if Striker is going to go for like a 2-hatch meter, a 3-hatch meter, or like a lurker play, right? I've seen, I know Mars when he was preparing for Machine, he played a couple games against Striker. And Mars streams his first person view, and I've seen Striker, go 2-hatch Muta a lot, I believe. So I'm excited to see what his Muta play looks like against Nash.
Yeah, I think Striker is a very standard, like macro oriented Zerg player. So I wouldn't be surprised if he follows the meta. goes to hatch Muta. I don't think he's he's cheesy in the sense that he'll go like some sort of lurker all in or just skip the mutas. I think he will want to go mutas because it's actually going to be one of his strengths really.
Right. Yeah, and if I'm striker, I think he's probably feeling pretty comfortable. Nash is a very strong player, but striker, this is his zone. You know what I mean? Like Nash is probably like a low to mid A rank player, and striker is probably a little higher than him. Like he's probably in his zone, and he's just gonna play what he does best. And I expect to see 2 hatch Muta, maybe 2.5 hatch Muta. I know that on the JY Discord, I see him talking a lot about this new build, 2.5 hatch Muta. Do you know what that is?
Oh, when you get the hatch after you start your lair, your third hatch inside your base, is that it?
I think that's what it is. I'm actually not sure. I read it. He explained it, but it's Zerg, and we all know Zerg is the easy race. So, so I'm sure whatever it is very easy to execute.
Yeah, I remember we saw that build in the meta in the Korean pro meta, getting a hatch off your 2 hatch build in your main slightly after you start your layer. It's interesting. I think you get just more units. You have a slightly stronger, you get your mutas, and you can also afford maybe a couple more drones, more lings. You'll have not that
you just have more larva.
Right? Yeah. So essentially, you'll just have more muscle in the mid game, to stop those marine medic groups heading across the map and trying to deny your third base or something like that. So I think
it doesn't look like Striker is doing that though. It looks like he's just going to throw down Spire and a second gas after 2 hatches. And Nesh sees all of this. Nesh even stole 8 minerals from the Overmind. So it's and speed just finishes. Maybe Nesh caught that, and so he's got 8 Zergling. Let's see what Nesh has at his natural. I think are these guys gonna get anything done? Does he need a bunker? What does this look like, NinjoOb?
I think he's fine. He just needs to be careful here. Just a couple more Marines are going to pop out, and behind the depot, this is actually pretty interesting. Pros will always hang out like this. They put a depot and then they hang out with their Marines behind. And for some reason, the Zergs will never attack into that. Personally, when I do it, I find they attack and they kill me anyways. I'm not too sure I'm not too sure what I'm doing wrong, but if everything's normal in their game, I think Striker is just gonna hold back and he's gonna wait for his mutas and he's gonna start harassing away, I think.
Yeah, and we see the Spire almost done. We see Nesh getting his academy and his eBay. He has almost a control group of Marines, no medics yet. And he's got his comsat starting. I always wondered, when Marines stand behind supply depots, if you really think about it, right, like you're a person standing behind a building, can they really see the lings, right? It's on the other side of the building. But anyway, let's not get too into the physics of this. Yeah, listen, how do they see? They're just gonna get blindsided anyway. I mean, how do the lings see them? They should just think it's empty and attack. But we have a sky view, so I guess that's fine. Right. It looks like Nesh is going to do a little bit of pressure right before the mutas come out, or is he just clearing out the lane? Like, what is the Terran doing here?
Oh, he's just moving out. There's no. It's a bit too late to push. Right now, the mutas are already out. But you just like to hang out just slightly in front of your main of your nat, and this is to kind of threaten going to the attack, and it keeps the mutas back, right? He can't if Striker goes in too hard with his mutas, Nesh can take his marine medic. He can go right across the map, and he can kill the Zerg, or at least kill a bunch of drones, maybe the hatchery even, stuff like that. So it keeps really the Zerg back. But then you have to be careful because the Zerg, mutas are pretty fast still, so they can go in. And if you don't have enough marine medics to bust, whatever the Zerg has, like Sunkens, and we're seeing it right now. So he's moving. Striker went with his mutas in the main, and now he moves out and he brings the mutas back. Because if he heads across the map with that many marines and medics, he can win the game.
If you were to push, does Striker have any Sunkens? He's got nothing. He doesn't even have creep colony. I wonder if Nesh knows this and if he scanned this. And is that suicide, right? Will the muta just go in and kill his base?
Yeah.
Today I'm gonna learn TBZ.
Yeah, so you have to build sunk. If the Zerg builds a bunch of Sunkens, then the Terran can't do this anymore, right? He can't bluff going on the attack, because if he does, he's not gonna bust, however many Sunkens the Zerg gets. And so he has to keep looking, right? He has to keep. Oh my God, taking a beating here, but the striker is going really hard on the mutas, and so at some point, you know, he doesn't want to build sunkens. Essentially, those are drones, so you want to keep those drones mining.
What I think is worth noting is Striker didn't build a single even creep colony, and I think that just shows Striker's utmost confidence in this game right now. He just thinks that he can win this game with his mutas. He's not worried about the push out. And he didn't even build a creep colony on Ninja. And he's showing why. He just took out this entire medic marine group, and his mutas, he probably lost 2-3 mutas there. And you know, he's got his hydrogen coming up, he's got his third gas up, he's got his queen's nest. He's gonna get a hive soon. I think Striker's in full control of this game, just showing why he's such a premier Zerg player.
Yes, Striker really plays like a pro. Like I'm pretty sure, you know, he watches all the VODs. He keeps up with the meta, the Korean pro gamer meta, and he tries to emulate that. And he's doing a really good job. Pros will not get sunkens unless they really have to, unless it's some sort of, you know, really aggressive timing from the Terran. They really cut as many corners as they can, and Striker is cutting as many corners as he can by not getting a single even creep colony.
Yeah, like I think Nash like, you know, bluffed a little bit with his Marines, and Striker didn't blink. It's like if a Zerg shows 3-hatch Hydra, and you're like, well, I'm not gonna build any cannons. I'm just gonna beat this with my probes. Although obviously these aren't probes, these are mutas. But he just called Nash the bluff and didn't waste a single drone. Now he's getting the gas probes into natural. He's getting, gas SCVs, and he's just ignoring the turret and just killing SCVs. He has full control while he's taking a hive. I think this is Striker's game to lose here.
Yeah, he started trading with the Marines really well, and now Nesh is on the back foot. You saw him; he's trying to get a bunker in front of the natural. You know, seeing how many Marines he lost, and now he feels like he's on the back foot. And now Striker still making a lot of mutas, but he is getting his Queen's Nest, so he's thinking about because eventually you do need to get out of mutas. Eventually, either science vessels or Valkyries will come out if the Terran thinks you're too reliant on the mutas. But right now there's so many mutas and so little Marines. I think you know, Nesh is going to be stuck in his base for a long time, and eventually a Defiler is going to walk across the map. And
nobody told Striker he needs to move out. He built a Hydra Den just for show. Like he's going straight from mutas into hive, probably ultras, right? Like I assume, like it's a crazy Zerg. I actually don't know if he's not making lurkers. He doesn't need Defilers, right? He's got his 4th base coming up. Yeah, I think he feels in such control that he doesn't need to. Oh, there are lurkers there actually, so he's finally making them. He remembered his Hydra Den, and it's not for show, but he's just. I think he's just taking clock until I guess Darkstorm lurkers. What is the finisher here for Zerg?
Oh, he's definitely gonna need the pilots to finish the game because Nesh is, you know, he's taking a beating, but he's getting his spec up, and he's gonna get vessels soon, and eventually. Eventually the Zerg can use the fighters. Like Terran is just really strong. Unless the other possibility is just Striker goes for a million lurkers and just rushes the natural of Nesh. That's a possibility. But I think the standard way to play it is just get your Defilers, get some Ling lurkers, and then run across the map and just end it, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think we see the lurkers coming out. We see the first vessel is out for Nesh. I think he's waiting on a second. I don't know if he has Irradiate done or if that's even going to be enough for what's coming here. He's just going to bull rush him. This is absurd. He's just walking right into this, and he has no problem. I guess the lurkers all
that was
survive.
pretty bold. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little worried I think if Nesh had a few more units and reacted right away, and focused those lurkers. But anyway, now he has a contain there, and I think it's going to be a nightmare for him to get out because he didn't go for tanks, which is fine. I think you shouldn't have went for tanks there. You wouldn't hit the timing before the Filer anyway. But the alternative now is that he has vessels, and he's not going to be able to irradiate his way out of this many lurkers. And like I said, I know I keep saying this, but the Filer is going to show up at some point, and there's no worse feeling than this orange cloud of
There's the Defiler. He gets irradiated right away, but he's gonna get a Darkstorm off, I believe, if Consume is done. Barely gets it up, but that's enough. That's all you need.
Yeah, that pushes the Terran back, and now you can even inch his way a little bit closer, start getting that bunker, the depot. But I mean, there's just more on the way for Striker, and Nesh is really hard pressed to find a way out before he gets completely smothered in his own base.
Yeah, sometimes you can see a player's confidence in his play, and I think this game is super highlighted. Striker is just utmost confidence. Like, he wasn't rushing to work, he just kept making mutas. He didn't even build a quick colony, and he just bull rushed right into this. Like, everything he's doing is working, and he has no expectation that it won't. And you can just see that going through his play, and Nesh GG's, and Striker just showing a masterful game here.
Yeah, the really strong muta harass really, up to that point it was looking just fine. It was both players were even, but the mutas started harassing, and it's tricky, against mutas. If you don't reinforce your Marine Medic ball, then they start taking trades that are a little too good, and then that can snowball out of control, and then suddenly, there's 10 mutas left, and you have 3 Marines, and at that point it's you're gonna never be able to leave your base, essentially.
Got it. Yeah, and I'm just gonna look through the bracket really quickly, see if we have any updates here. Machine and Sniper are still in their games. Tim 2-1 Models. I think that's an upset, right? Tim's a very, very strong Protoss, but I think Models, who's recently come back into the scene, I think he would have been the favorite.
Yeah, that's pretty big, actually. I wonder what those games look like.
Yeah, I think. We'll get to see Tim. It's a single elimination, so Models is actually, yes. We're not gonna be able to see Models later in this tournament here, and I think that's definitely a big upset. Raz and Hawk are still in their series, and that's a really great series. Crane coming into round 2. Actually, yeah. So we're gonna go into game 2 on Eclipse, Striker versus Nesh. Let's see if Striker continues his very, very confident play, and let's see if Nesh can take this to game 3.
Yeah, I wonder if Nesh is gonna come out with a special build here. But before that, we have Striker here in the top right as the blue Zerg.
We have Nesh in the bottom left in this off-white eggshell Terran. Yeah, let's see if Nesh brings out the special tactics, White Rod special tactics, to get a game on this. Eclipse is a 2-player map, so it gives you a little bit more creativity, because you already know where your opponent is at the start.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna see like an early SCV head across the map, maybe an 8 racks, maybe try to mess with the Zerg natural. I think Nesh has to do something, right? I mean, we saw how their macro straight up play matched up, and it was in Striker's favor. So I wonder if Nesh is thinking about doing something a little funky here.
Well, you're a pretty good Terran. If you're in Nesh's position, do you have any funky builds you would think about doing, or would you just go?
Oh no, I'm an idiot. I only know how to play one way, and that's just like I would go to Rax Academy and just lose the same way Nesh lost, essentially.
Oh man, I PVT'd you a couple times. You do play similar each game though, that's true. But it's very solid and very good. Hopefully I don't match up against you in CPL. I don't have to PVT Mars too much to practice for you.
Well, that's good practice. So.
That is a great practice. I do play Mars a lot. What do you think about Eclipse for Terran? Is there any option for mech here, or do you expect traditional bio play here?
What I usually see is still bio play. I'll say this though, I think Zerg here has a slightly easier time taking a third, as you have a base. Your third is quite close, and also it's guarded by only a tiny ramp, and so maybe Striker will go for a quick third. It's fairly easy to defend for the Zerg. Just put 2 Sunkens there, and you can kill essentially a whole group of Marine Medic, as long as you have your mutas around. It's incredibly difficult to punish fast third bases here. But from Nesh, I mean, looks like he's still just playing bio. But I respect that. You just play your game, the game and try to improve.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's best to do what you do best, and not adjust too much for your opponent, because at the end of the day, if you don't do something else very well, then what's the point, right? Do what you do best and do that. And we see Striker going for same build as last time, unless I'm missing something. We see a 12 hatch, and then we see the pool and the gas. So I'm expecting another 2 hatch muta from Striker, and we're seeing a very similar play from Nesh putting up his command center.
Yeah, I think we'll just see about the same thing here. That Overlord, by the way, you can't kill it before it gets to the safe space next to your natural, unless maybe you go for an 8 rack. I've never tried that, but anyway, that Overlord is gonna scout the command center, and he's gonna see that it's a timing that's it's an expansion timing that indicates bio play, essentially, no gas. So I think Striker knows what's up. And
if it was mech play, would the expansion go up later? I guess because you're taking gas, or would it come up earlier? Like, what is the difference?
I don't play mech a lot, but I think it goes up a little bit later. It'll go up around 21 supply, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas if you play bio on a 2-player map, it'll go up at like 17 supply, something like that. So
Kraazy, our resident observer, who's also listening and is confirmed, and he does mech a lot. Yeah, he's a dirty Terran. So that sounds good. And this SCV stealing another 8 minerals from the Overlord, Overmind, from Kerrigan. I'm not supposed to acknowledge Kraazy. Well, it's too late, Kraazy. And we see how many lings? We have 4 lings. Do we see Lair is done, Spire is up, so we're gonna see another 2-hash muta from Striker. Well, why deviate? You know, Nesh is doing what he does best, and Striker is doing what he does best.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not surprised in the slightest that Striker is going for the same build. I mean, seeing how it worked out in the first game, I mean, why would you change? And then, yeah, so that drone, fairly standard timing. You get the, you know, it's interesting. 2-hash muta has become a really popular. It has become the standard, right? It used to be 3-hatch for a long time, and I think now Zergs, they realize that, you know what, you can go 2-hatch and then get your 3rd base really quickly. And it's incredibly hard for the Terran to do anything about it. Even if you go 2 racks Academy, you know, if you move out, you get to the 3rd around the time the mutas pop out, and then combined with a few lings, you can defend your 3rd. So it's a very strong build, and yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about it, except
we
that
see Nesh using the depot defense again with his very tall Marines or his very short depot, or maybe the Marines just can't see anything. The mutas just got started, and I guess so in ZVT, I guess there's 6 mutas first, and then as you get more larvae, you make more mutas. I sound like a complete newbie here. I really don't know the TVZ.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you just go straight to hatch and there's no 3rd base or anything, you would absolutely get 6 mutas right off the bat. I think here, you know, he gets maybe 4 or 5 mutas right when the Spire finishes, and that's because he's a bit low on resources because he took his fast 3rd, but you know, it's fine. I mean, he has 5 mutas. He's gonna wait for a couple more, and right now Nesh, he turns around because it's hard to tell whether the Zerg, you know, might have made a bunch of lings, and if you get caught out there with your first group of Marine medic, you can easily lose the game.
Here's a question: are these turrets gonna be on time? See the mutas. I guess they're going after the Marines, so they'll be fine. Okay, so
yeah.
I guess turrets build surprisingly quick. That's why they're always in time for my Reavers. Like, he just built the mutas were halfway through the map, and he started his turrets, and they're done. This is nonsense. What is Artosis complaining about? Like, this is look at this. He started this like 8 seconds ago. This is ridiculous.
Turrets build in, I think, something like 17 seconds, 18 seconds. They build really quickly. You can actually get them right when the turrets, right when the mutas pop. If you start your turrets, they'll most likely be on time. So you can get them pretty late.
Absurd, especially because how quick mutas are. Imagine if Protoss could start cannons when mutas popped. Oh yeah, I'll start cannons now for my mineral line. Anyway, enough balance whining.
Was that a joke? I genuinely can't tell.
Oh no, we can't. We need to start it like 6 to 7 business days before the Zerg decides to make mutas. So we need to give notice to our bosses. It's a whole process. Striker gets his 3rd up. He's got 8 mutas. One of them is severely hurt. Nesh doing a better job defending against the mutas. He just lost another muta this game, significantly better than he did against Striker on Polyploid, I think. From my uneducated eyes, yeah, it's looking good. It's looking solid for Nesh. I'm not saying he's ahead, but he's definitely not behind the way he was on Polyploid.
Yeah, and I actually really like how he got the Overlord overlooking the natural. You can scan it and put it right there. It's not safe. I like that a lot. Now you can, the Zerg has to play a lot more carefully, you know, especially since he doesn't have any lings scouting for movement. And catching a few
catching a bunch of Marines all alone. These are the fat Marines, the ones that were lagging behind. You know, they just ran out of breath, took a break, and that's what happens. Mutas kill you. So hit the treadmill. Yeah.
Yeah, it's textbook play from Striker. Really. You look for those reinforcing Marines, and you pick them off, and then eventually, you know, the force that's out on the map becomes too weak compared to your Muta count and maybe a few Lings, and then you can crush it. And hopefully this doesn't happen to Nesh, and we can go a little bit.
The life of a Marine seems so rough. First, you have to hide behind a building where you can't see anything, right? And these fucking Lings are trying to get you. Now you have Mutas in the air. Each of them are 3 times as big as you, and they're clumped up. Yeah, man, this is a rough life for the Confederacy.
Yeah, it's tough. This is. Oh man. Okay, he's gonna join up. Okay, this is good. He's gonna join up with a few more reinforcement because that group was starting to get whittled down a little bit. And eventually, you know, hopefully, eventually he gets to a large enough force that he can pressure, that he can, like, you know, really pressure the Zerg. And I think we're getting close to that here.
So what are those buildings? That's a science facility. Was there 2 starports there? We see that the Zerg's hive is up. There's 1 starport. Maybe I'm imagining things. There was 2 starports. Okay, yeah. So I think Nesh trying to go into SK turn. I think feels like he's in a better position this game than he was last game. He wants to get his vessels out. He knows that Striker likes to stay on Mutas a little longer than other Zergs. So I think maybe and there's no and Striker has no creep colonies up. Again, showing that same riskiness from the last game. But there's and so Striker has these lurkers out, and he's got overlords on top of them. And Nesh has no science vessels, and I'm sure he has scan at this point, but he just can't break this. I don't think he should try. I think he's got to figure out how to safely get those Marines with the rest of the group. He's getting surrounded.
Yeah, it's actually really hard to break that, but if you don't have anything else besides the lurkers, you can scan in A moves, and it's not that bad if you spread out your Marines. But here, I mean, there was too few Marines, and the Striker just pounces on that group and takes it out. And now Nesh, you know, he's not in a bad spot, I would say.
Well, the Defiler round is started before the first vessel is out. Is that typical, or is that bad? I don't know, so I might just be imagining. I imagine it's bad, but maybe it's very standard.
I mean, it's fine, really. I mean,
okay.
He'll have his vessels. He'll have a radiate. Striker will have his Defilers. No one's gonna immediately die to one or the other. I think. I think we'll actually see a decent game. Although, you know, looking at the supplies, Nesh is a little bit behind, right? So, I mean, we'll have to see.
Got it. And what is the barracks count? I think I only saw 4 barracks for Nesh. Maybe I missed it. There's 4. There's 5. Is that typical, or should he have more? Is that completely typical? I feel like maybe I only watch TVZ if like Flash is playing, so maybe that's why I'm used to like 8-9 barracks. But
I mean, it's fine for now. Because he's taking a relatively fast third base, so he doesn't have that many minerals. But yeah, he's definitely gonna add at least barracks up to 8. That's how the pros like to play it. You know, us mortals will usually get more because we don't have good enough macro. But we'll definitely see him add a few more barracks. I think that's for sure.
And now we enter the next phase in the Marine's life, where he has to fight underground beasts that will kill all of you in one with spikes that come out of the ground. So I hope they get paid well.
Yeah, it's a tough life, that's for sure.
I think they should unionize, honestly.
Yeah.
And the medics too. Like I would stay home. Like, I'm gonna be in the tent. We need a, you know, like, why am I gonna come with you? The rough life for the medic Marine.
Almost gets the Defiler. Oh, he does get the Defiler, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I would be lobbying for the turn to come back if I was a medic Marine. Yeah. So what is where do you think the game stands? Do you think Nesh is behind? Do you think Striker is behind? Like what, or is it just dead even? We see a Striker getting his 4th up, Nesh taking his 3rd up. Dark Storm is out. This doesn't feel like and Nesh is all the way on the map. Like he's got his presence on the map. He's got his army always in the middle. He's not defending as much. You know, like last game on Polypod, we saw him defending a lot. We saw him losing a lot of Magic Marine. We saw him up until there were lurkers at his natural. This game, it feels like you know, if you see on Eclipse, he's got army on that ramp. He's got army by the fourth. He's got army in the middle. Like he's really got his he's really made sure to stay out on the map, and he just lost some vessels.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say it's definitely not that bad, but losing those vessels here, I mean, I wonder if Nesh will be able to keep up with Striker. Striker's a very fast player. I've seen his first-person view. I don't know if he streams, but I've seen his first-person view. I think on Discord once or twice, and he plays really fast. He has a good mechanic, and so Nesh will definitely have his work cut out for him if he wants to keep up in this. SK Terran versus, Ling, Defiler, Lurker type of play. Meanwhile, there's a nice drop here. Yeah. Gets intercepted though, and only a few Lings pop out, so they're gonna go down pretty quickly actually. So, I mean, it's a slippery slope for Nesh, that's for sure. But I think he's still in it. He just needs to find ways in to deal damage.
Yeah, he's denying this fourth gas. He's got a D-Matrix Marine on the around the fourth, but I think that should wear off soon. Yeah, the drop is completely shut down, and I think these Marines are just gonna get killed very shortly. But the good thing about Nesh, he did get the early third, and it looks like Striker either doesn't know or isn't able to address it because of Nesh's map presence this game.
Yeah, and this one Ling, this one Ling gonna take out.
Oh man, try hard Ling.
Oh my god, oh no, there's more.
Oh no, he called his friends.
Alright, he's gonna lift, yeah, he's gonna lift and keep this alive. That is at least a good thing for Terran here, is you can just lift bases when they get attacked by a Zerg, and the SCVs will immediately evacuate because they'll return to the nearest command center. And another drop here. Another
drop. Really, this one is a lot better than the last one because the last one had Lings waiting for him. But there is a Nidus Canal and Ultralisk. Another bad day for Life of Marine. Can the Ultras get back there? They can, right? They can. Although there's a medic blocking for the Marines.
We'll get the Nidus.
Nesh is Nesh gonna take out this fourth?
If he does, that'd be really good. If he does, it would bring him back in the game, I think.
Absolutely, and like the Lurkers are just out of range. They're just hitting medics, but there's Ultras coming out the back.
This is all medics.
Oh! Is it gonna live? Wow, that is almost gets the hatchery. Oh wait, no, there's a he finally gets the hatchery.
Yeah, he does. Okay, he does get it. So
and he just barely gets it.
Yeah, that was really close. Thankfully, he gets it. I'm curious if he has more racks. He has a longer. He has more production because it feels like he's not producing units very quickly, and I hope he has enough. Oh man, he needs SCVs back.
I think 7 barracks. He's got two starports. His third is still not operational right now. He hasn't brought SCVs back, but he does have a lot of vessels, and he's irradiating these. And I'm assuming, my guess would be that he's going to try to take this fourth out again. If you can, what is the difference between a 3 and a 4 gas Zerg? Is there a big difference, or is there a significant difference?
Well, traditional wisdom states that 3 gas Zerg is still manageable, but 4 gas is when things start to get out of control. That's when they start building non-stop ultras and Lings, and they just can send them across the map. And you see his upgrades right now, it's 1-4. That's a lot of armor on the ultras. Meanwhile, Nesh is on 2-1, I think. So it's tough to fight those cows, and they run pretty fast now too. So I mean, it's a tough fight for the Terran.
Yeah, I mean, an Ultralisk is basically a boar the size of 2 elephants, right? Like it's. You can't really. That's basically what that is. Like, how do you beat that? You're just a guy hiding behind a building. But he's gonna go and he's gonna try to take out this fourth again. He's got a sizable medic marine army here, but he doesn't have 2 vessels with them. I don't see. Oh, there's a vessel. There we are. It's a 9 health vessel. A couple of 9 health vessels. I'm assuming they got plagued and we missed possibly. And now we see some Scourge cleaning up. Is that the last vessel? That's the last vessel.
Oh my god, this is tough, man. Losing all these vessels, and he is gonna kill those ultras, and I hope he can go back and deny a base, because Striker is also taking a base in the bottom right corner, excuse me. So if this goes undetected, I mean, Nesh might think he's in a better spot than he actually is.
Yeah, and he's got a Lurker at the ramp and a Nidus, which essentially renders that base untouchable.
Yep, exactly. It's like any Kodak unit, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah, man. Sometimes I build a single zealot and win some games. It's great. And if one zealot's not enough, I mean two.
Sometimes all you need is like a pylon wall and it's a free base, It's pretty cool too.
Oh, and there's an eraser going on, and he does have a lot of vessels. I mean, or at least he has 2 star forts. He lost a lot of vessels.
Yeah,
I don't know if he can afford to irradiate right now.
Those drones were burrowed real quick, though. I don't think he got any.
Oh, did he burrow? Oh, they were burrowed.
Yeah.
Dude, is this striker or is this Soma? Like, what is this guy doing? Like, why would you even get burrow? How would you even know that's coming?
Yeah, I mean, burrow is actually a really good tool. Not just for saving your drones, but for tactical play early on. We've seen it a couple of times. It's pretty neat. I wish we could see it more used.
Dude, if you're listening and you're a Zerg, don't start burrowing. Like, Zerg is hard enough to play against. Don't do it. It's not good.
Do it.
You don't want your units underground, dude. Like, come on, you want them up ground where we can see them. Is Terran mining out yet? Like, what is his main looking like? I know we see the 3rd getting killed. Not killed, but, well, yeah. The SCV is getting shut down for now. The main is mined out. The natural's close to mined out, so he needs to get that 3rd up. Yeah, we see a command center at the 4th, but we see more Ultralists and Marines, and that's not good.
Yeah, Nesh is getting into a really bad spot. His 3rd got denied again. It's hard to hold on to your bases. You have to try to, typically you'll build bunkers and load them up and maybe a turret. But if your expansion is completely defenseless, I mean, just a couple links will wreak havoc. And right now, Nesh is about to run out of resources, and Striker is slowly taking more and more bases. So, I mean, it's not looking good for Nesh.
We do see Nesh shutting down Striker's 6th, but remember, that's Striker's 6th. So, like, I don't think Striker cares too much. Probably just cancel that hatchery. We see this lurker. There's 2 stacked lurkers here. Actually, it's not even just 1 lurker. It's misleading. It's a lie. It's 2 lurkers, one on top of each other. So, yeah, I mean, another example of Zerg dishonesty. And Nesh GG's.
Yeah.
2-0 for Striker for over a very strong player like Nesh.
Yeah, I mean, I think the outcome's not is what we could have expected. I mean, Striker is such a strong player, and Nesh is good too. I mean, we saw his play, honestly, it looks good. It's just in the late game, Striker is such a monster that it's incredibly difficult to keep up.
Yeah, no, Striker just showing why he's one of the top Zergs. I think the game sounds a little loud. Just a note. I'm gonna refresh this bracket and see what we're looking at now. See what the games we have to look forward are. So as a recap, so Machine 2-0 Snipe. So we have Machine and Tai 2 in round 2. Tim upsetting Models. Tim's a very strong player, but we also know Models is very strong as well. But then Tim ran into the wall that is Boa, and Boa takes that 2-0. So we're in round 3. We have Boa set up to take the winner of Tai 2 versus Machine. So that's one to keep an eye out for. Hawk 2-0'd Raz. That's Raz is a very, very strong player. So that's an interesting result. I mean, well, Hawk obviously is one of the top Zergs in the country. Crane. So we have Crane and Hawk in round 2. We have Kraazy beating Jae-yoon and Father beating Jiffy Mix. So we have Father and Kraazy in round 2, but then Kraazy has 2-0 Father. So Kraazy's already in round 3 along with Boa. Probably the 2 strongest players in this bracket.
Yeah, I agree. Looking at the bottom of the bracket here, we have Red Duck making it all the way to round 3. 2-0 everyone on his path. Armada's gonna be his opponent in round 3. Just beat Herbmont 2-1. I know Herbmont's pretty good too, so 2-1. I'm sure it was.
I play with Herbmont pretty often. He's a very strong Zerg.
Yeah, and then just beat Kool-Aid in round 2. So he's in round 3 against Striker. We just saw beat Nesh 2-0. So, I mean, this is looking. I think the big names have all made it to round 3, except the ones that have lost to other big names. So
the big upsets we see here. I mean, not upsets, but the big names that are out are Models. Models has been eliminated.
Yeah.
Jae-yoon had the unfortunate misfortune of running into Kraazy in round 1. We know that Jae-yoon's probably one of the stronger players in this. He is one of the strongest players in NA, but ran into Kraazy. So and the other good players we're seeing, and we saw Raz got taken out, ran into Hawk. But now we're about to see Striker again. Striker versus Just. Just is a very, very strong Protoss. I think he's around 2100. And we know how good Striker is. We just saw him dismantle Nesh, and Nesh is a very strong player in his own right.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a pretty good matchup, I think. Definitely two high-level players, A to S rank, I would assume. Yeah, let's get
And I think Striker is probably the favorite here, but Just is very, very strong. So I'm actually really excited. I believe Just goes gate expand a lot, a little different from when we saw Snipe and Machine earlier. So we're probably going to see a lot more action early in this game, assuming that's what happens. And we're on Polypoid. So to start off, we have in the bottom left the green Protoss Just.
And in the top left, it's our boy Striker in the blue Zerg.
Yeah, we've gotten pretty familiar with Striker over the last couple of games, haven't we? I think Kraazy's fanboying him a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a bizarre bias towards a Zerg player.
Well, we know that Kraazy likes to toy with Zerg and Protoss every now and then because Terran is too easy.
Yeah, that's true.
And we see Just sending out his pylon. I'm expecting to see a gate expand from Just, but let's take a look at Just natural right now. Let's see if this probe stays after the pylon. Sometimes, so if when the probe leaves after the pylon, it usually means they're going to do a forge expand. And so that's what I'm expecting to see here. We see the probe going straight to scouting. When you normally make a gateway, you either go back to mine if you're doing a 10 gateway, or you keep your probe there, do it for a 9 gateway. I think you can probably mine. There's like specific time to get like 8 more minerals on a 9 gate, but most players don't do that. So, and we see just going to get him on the first scout, and we see Striker doing a overpull.
So tell me, what changes here when you get the first scout off as the Protoss on the Zerg? Do you immediately, plan to mess with the natural, build pylons everywhere? What's going through just his mind right now?
So there's two things. So when you get the first scout, you're able to harass the natural. After an overpull, the hatchery will go down at around 2 minutes and 3 seconds, and Just knows this. So he knows if you see a Zerg faking it at 150, he's not making the hatchery. He doesn't have the money. So Just had his probe waiting there for the drones that he knew were coming. Striker sends 2 drones because he knows this harass is coming, especially off the first scout. You see at 203 now he has the money. Now it's 206. Just wants to delay this as much as possible. In the meantime, he's got a forge up, and the hatchery goes up. He's going to put up his Nexus at 13, and then he's going to put up his cannon at 13. On Polypoid, you're able to put against an overpull, you'll make your forge at 11 or 12, Nexus 13, and then cannon 13. So just getting the optimal opening here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Striker got the hatchery down. That was really that was pretty quick. That was pretty nimble.
Yeah, especially when you have 2 drones out, you're able to body block a little bit. You're able to really hurt that probe. The first thing the probe is going to look at is the gas timing, which we see coming down at 240, which is before the 3rd hatchery. It's a little bit of a quicker gas timing than normal. And the second thing you want to get is you want to see what's coming out of these larvae. Is he making drones or is he making lings? So far, we only see 1 set of lings. If you end up seeing 6 lings, you're gonna have to think about a second cannon, right? And with the early gas timing, and we see the 3rd hatch coming down, either we have to expect fast layer or fast speed from Striker, but there's a reason he's getting this early gas.
Yeah, that all makes sense. So now Striker is going up to 3 hatch. So from my perspective, there's a big choice coming up for Zerg. Well, not immediately, but if he wants to go for some sort of cheesy Hydra build, when can we expect to see the Hydra Den?
It will go. I don't know the exact timing, but we see a layer going up. Plus, I don't think he's trying to go Hydras, mostly because we see that he hasn't really committed too much to getting rid of this probe. You can't really do a Hydra push against a good Protoss if you do it in front of his face, and there hasn't really been an effort to kill his probe. 1 ling is just 1 ling. And there's no speed on this ling, and probes are the same speed as lings. I think what we've seen from Striker in the last couple of games that he just favors the style that he's good with. And I've seen Striker play a couple of games. I've asked for some of his replays when I've seen him on stream play other Protosses who were good doing gate expand. I was like, I just want to copy the Protosses build. He plays a very solid macro style. He plays 3 hatch lair, 5 hatch Hydra. He gets Scourge out for the Corsair, but then he switches into a very Hydra lurker heavy style on 3 bases. So that's what I expect to see from him here. I think this is another scenario where Just is a player that I think is very strong, but Striker is still the favorite against, and Striker just going to play his bread and butter. This is what I do best style. Striker has never been really a super cheesy player or anything, and I think that's what we should expect to see. We're going to see a 3-hatch layer 5-hatch Hydra. We're going to see a Spire go down, and that's where the Spire is. And then I expect to see Hydra Den, 2 hatcheries, and an Evo Chamber coming up after this in the second guess.
Yeah, it sounds good. So now I'm assuming Justice is going to get his Corsair and going to scout around. And then how do you transition towards, I know eventually, the Protoss will end up with gateways, more gateways, going to get Zealots, eventually Dragoons, also High Templars. Can you talk to me a little bit about, the transition, how it happens, how are the ways for it to happen? And,
Got it. Well, the first thing we want to see is we look at just natural and we see the Forge spinning, right? So this means that what we're likely going to see here is some sort of a 730 timing, with around 4, 5, 6 Corsairs, possibly with +1. I don't know if the core is spinning. We see Strikers transitioning into the 5 hatchery build. So you want to initially start with essentially a 5 speed lot push with Corsairs at around 730. And the point of this push really is to make sure the Zerg doesn't get too greedy. You want to force the Zerg to have to build Hydras, have to build Links, have to build Sunkens, have to build Mutas, whatever tech tree he went. If you don't do that push, Zerg can just run up. There's no real fear. With that push, you get a little bit of map control. And we see the first Overlord going down. You get a little bit of map control. You're able to make sure he doesn't take a super quick fourth because you'll have a bunch of speed lots on the map. The Zerglings can't really engage speed lots once they have +1. They just like butter to a knife. It's not, it's not really, you have to use Hydras to engage. So it's a way to force the Zerg to build units. And then from there, you start your Templar tech, you start your Storm, and you expand over to either 6 gateways to sort of set yourself up for a third base, or you go for an 8-gate 2-1 push. I don't know what Just is going to transition into. We see him adding gateways right now, but I do expect to see that push. Can we take a look at the Stargate and the core to see what those are looking like right now? So we Stargate, the core, so he's not getting the +1, but he is still pumping Stargate. So you have the option. You can go up to 6 Corsairs without +1 can one-shot a Scourge, and 5 Corsairs with +1 can one-shot a Scourge. And we see DTs. So what he's doing instead here is he's rushing over to DTs. This is going to come out probably before Overlord speed finishes. And so some Protosses like to just walk past the Overlords in the natural and try to get into the main, because a lot of Zergs don't put the Overlord in the main, and it's actually a really effective way to get a lead early in the game.
Yeah, I think I've seen my fair share of games, even at the pro level, where a DT single-handedly wins the game, where it looks like Striker is ready for this. There's Overlords and Hydras.
But is he though? Because we see these speed lots coming out, right? If Striker gets distracted and just is setting up his DTs around, and if he clears out Overlords here, but there's Hydras here, right? But he's really trying to set it up so that these DTs can get some damage done.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed though is that in most games that I see in PvZ, the Protoss will usually go and scout with the first Corsair, often overlooking even the first Overlord. Is it a big deal here that Just didn't? I mean, I guess he's getting a pretty good.
Well, the reason he didn't, right? You scout if your probe dies, right? And you should always scout. But you have to remember, Just probe was alive to see the lair.
Okay.
He was alive, yeah. So there, he was alive long enough to see that the lair wasn't canceled. And if there was Hydras, he would know. So when you have a full view of the Zerg base, you go and kill your Overlords. You know what I mean? There's when you know what the Zerg is doing. You only do that if you haven't got the scout. Just only made 3 Corsairs. He just lost one in there. He might have lost another. That attack did nothing. Striker had a really good SimCity at his third base.
Yeah, and I think they all went down here. He went really ham. He got a few Overlords and got Striker supply block for a bit, but I think Striker bounced back pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm not sure if that was a good trade.
That was actually a really bad trade for Just there. He lost, and Striker SimCity funneled all the units and just overcommitted. And so we see, and like I said, he used the push to sort of get your Templar out, and your gateway count up. But now that he lost all those units, Striker has the option here. He can make Hydras and try to press the issue, which Just has to prepare for. And we see that's why we see 4 cannons here now, with the Robo. Because he needs to buy time for Storm to finish. Storm isn't quite done yet. It should finish up in the next 20-30 seconds, maybe less. But I believe, and let's take a look at, so we see Striker making drones. So Zerg has the other option of adding a hatchery. You have map control now, right? Protoss just sacrifice all his units. All he has are some high Templar that don't have quite Storm yet. So he can take a 4th and he can drone up. So those are really your 2 options. He lost his Corsairs, so we see a Dark Archon morphing. Because when you have 3 Corsairs, you can't afford to lose them. The reason you have 3, is that if the Zerg switches to mutas, you can quickly go up to 5 or 6. When you have 3 and you lose all of them, it's going to take 6 to 7 years and a good amount of money to get your Corsair count up back up to 6. So your better option is just get a Dark Archon in case there's a muta switch, and that's exactly what Just is doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dark Archon's definitely one of the hypest units as far as I'm concerned. I'm definitely glad to see them. I hope we get to see a juicy Maelstrom and followed by a Storm on a stack of mutas. Although, like, I mean, I don't know if we'll see a stack of mutas, but
yeah, I think we see Striker playing into that style I was talking about earlier. He's getting to the Hydra Lurk. On Polypoid, there is a quick fort to be had here with the mineral only, so he's going to put lurkers up on that ramp, which is essentially impossible to beat. Literally impossible. Can't be beat. And just I think making the best move in his position here is trying to get his third up, because I don't think any sort of 2-1 push is going to be effective off 2 bases here. His best option is to try to drag this into the mid game, try to deny Shark his 5th as he takes his 3rd, and maybe tries to get a 4th. But we can see that Striker already overtook Just in population, 107 to 101, and that's it's not good news for the Protoss. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah, that's worrying, but you know, at least he just seems to be in a stronger position than last time we saw PVZ with Snipe. At least he can take his 3rd, and I don't think Striker can do anything about it just yet. Hopefully, you know, with a big fight. I mean, Storms, you know, Storm is such a powerful ability. I mean, it can turn a fight if, you know, he just gets 1 or 2 juicy Storms. You know, we might see him get a, you know, map control back and comfortably take more bases and eventually kind of catch up and overtake Striker in supply.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, we see he has his 5 High Templars. He's gonna probably seize High Templar production, just go into army now, and by the time he pushes, he's gonna have 10, 12, 15 Storms, and that's gonna be his push. We see Striker taking his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th base on the top right. He's probably got a Lurker or some Hydras on the ramp there. I see a little bit of blue. Can we take a look and see if Just has a second forge somewhere? Because we saw him at 1-0. He's probably going up to either 1-1 or 2-0. We see the second forge there. So we should expect to see 2-1 at some point. Yeah, so 1-1. He got the armor at the natural. Oh, and we see a Maelstrom. So good. That's always fun to see. And we see Just go up to 2-1 shortly. But I don't think he has any clue that top right is being taken right now. We don't see any DTs on the map. No DTs on patrol. No DTs roaming. We know he lost his Corsairs. He's got this 1 Corsair here, but it's here. You know, it's not scouting really. So
correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the Protoss at this stage of the game will essentially kind of sit back a little bit, mass up a huge gateway-based army. You know, lots of Zealots, Dragoons, High Templars, and at some point, he's gonna attack. When is that time gonna come, you think?
I think it's gonna come when the +2 upgrade finishes on the attack, and then we saw the fort spinning. That's probably the +2 there. I think, and we see him trying to take we see him walking down the 6 o'clock, trying to clear it of any links so he can start. So he's gonna probably push out with this army and try to start a 4th behind the push, right? So he cleared it out of any links or anything that might be there, and we see him posturing out. I think when that +2 finishes, which should be any time now, is going to be the best time for him to push and see if he can take out a base while adding one of his own. His best bet might be to try to see if he has any luck with this mineral only. We see that as fortified. But he's going to have to test it out. He's going to have to test it out around. He's going to have to test the 4th that Striker put up. You just have to sort of poke and prod and see if you can catch any favorable trades for yourself.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And we see the 4th coming up at the 6 o'clock behind this move out. I believe if Just knew, if he scouted a little more actively and he knew that top right was going up, that's exactly where he'd be beelining towards right now. But he's not aware of that base.
Yeah, it feels like he's hesitating a little bit, but he is making his way across the map now. He might head towards that corner. I mean, he must suspect that, you know, Striker is at the time. It's about the time where he would be expanding towards that top right corner. He's catching a few Hydras actually here.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. You want to move around. You want to. So the secret about moving around, right? You have to reposition your lurkers. You have to move your lings into position, and you want to be able to catch things that are really not in position. So those lurkers are in position in front of the top, and so you just want to catch things that are out of position. That's exactly what he did there. And now he's testing the defenses here. If it's too steep, he might back out. I think he should back out because it's sort of a well. And we see that Striker's already set up units on the high ramp of the top right, and so he might end up getting surrounded. But he's just trying to storm, keep his Dragoons out front, see what he can get, and probably back out because I don't think he's gonna have much luck if he pushes.
His army's pretty split up right now. I'm not sure if he's aware of the units on the right. It looks like he's focused.
Yeah, the units in the back, the Zealots, are getting shredded by the Lurkers behind those Hydras, and I don't think he has an observer there, and they all just got melted. And we see Striker taking a commanding population lead, 166 to 147. That's not where you want to be as Protoss.
Yeah, this army is all goons and Templars. I'm hoping we won't. Oh, there's reinforcement. Oh god, no.
Oh no, and that's the tricky part of Polypoid, dude. Can't just reinforce.
Bad rallies heading into the Lurker field. That's not what you want. They're coming around now, but
you can't even rally you have to rally to behind and then manually move them over. You know what I mean? You can't waypoint rally, and it's tough to reinforce from this position.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he must have just right clicked like, I'll get him out of this lurker, and there's more lurkers over there. And Striker just dominating this game.
Yeah, meanwhile the goons taking some hits. I mean, Just still has a bit of an army. Supplies are close, which is I think favorable for Zerg, but oh man, the lurkers.
You can't lose your Dragoons though, and that's what these Dragoons are gonna melt, and he's gonna be linked and Hydra follow up. I'm assuming Striker's got his hive up. I think we're gonna see Defiler soon. I think if he has cracklings and he sends them over to 6 o'clock and then mineral only, like, you just starve out the Protoss.
Yeah, it's looking like Just he's gonna lose map control. I feel like after this fight. I mean, Striker's supply is pretty high now, and what's Just's next move here? Do you think can he find some damage in the top right base? It's not really defended.
I mean, I don't think Just has any offensive options here. So especially with the Zealot army, I think you try to take bottom right. You put some Reapers on the ramp. Oh, that's a juicy storm. Oh, if Striker continues to bunch up his army, he might still find a way to lose this game. But I think Just's best option is to just try to get this to split map, because if you're playing an active, aggressive style, I don't think it's going to work right now, especially as Striker moves over to Swarm and Cracklings. We see Striker taking mid-left as well. Like, Striker is just taking this map base by base. Like, he's not missing a beat. Every gap in action, he gets a base. And Just, he doesn't. And, like, he's got 4 bases, which is good. But at some point, he needs to either take bottom right or take out a base of Zergs. And I don't think he can take out a base of Zergs.
Well, 2 Templars went down there, sniped skillfully by Striker. Just is on 4 bases right now. I mean, how badly? When do you think he needs to take more? I mean, we see the 5th now. Is his economy in a bad spot, or is it still fine? I mean, I'm guessing the Protoss can be on fewer bases than the Zerg, but is this a really bad spot, or is this okay?
It's so the Protoss can be on fewer bases than Zerg, but this is a bad spot, not specifically because of the economies, although obviously that Striker has a much bigger economy than him, but because of sort of the map control and the army and the tech. So if Zerg has Defilers out, you're in a bad shape unless you have, High Templar and Reavers at your expansions. And because Cracklings can take out a Nexus so fast, it's obscene. So, and the other problem is that at this point in the game, if you look at Just main, he's probably very, very close to mining out. If you look at Just natural, he's probably close to mining out. So at some point, he's going to be on a mineral only and a base. So he's not in a bad position right now, but where Protoss is now, it means that he's going to be in a bad position 2-3 minutes from now, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I see what you mean. A couple links here denying the cannon.
And we know Zergs don't mine out, right? So
yeah, that we can agree on.
Yeah, and we see he's about to be on 2 base. About to be 2 base versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base Zerg, and that's not a good position to be in. Although we do see Striker, his minerals are waning out a little bit, but he's not gonna find any problems finding a place for those drones to work. It's not a COVID economy for them. They'll be fine.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, he's maxed out now. I mean, he's. Oh no! These Templars. Oh, okay. At least they get some storms, some juicy storms. And
I don't know. I mean, he's gonna need a dozen juicy storms to fight a max out Zerg army, though.
Oh, there's a lot of ketchup on those goons. That's not.
Dude, those goons don't like ketchup, man. You definitely don't want your goons plagued, because well, you get a couple of things, he'll take them all out.
Yep, all ketchup, no fries is what I say.
What does that even mean? All ketchup, no fries? Can you just eat ketchup?
I don't know. It just popped
Are
in
you a
my mind.
psychopath?
It sounded really good. I don't know. I'm hoping it's gonna catch on. I'm hoping it's gonna catch on. I'm taking a gamble here.
What does NinjoOb mean, by the way? How did you get your name? Is it like noob and ninja put together? Like, what was the thing?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean,
shit, I figured it out.
Yep, not really. There's no deep meaning there.
And I was asking Crane the meaning behind his name. He explained it actually. There was a deeper meaning. It wasn't a deep meaning, but it made sense. But I'm still gonna pretend he just spelled Crane wrong.
Sure, yeah. That's most likely. That's likely what happened.
Yeah, we know pro players. We know pro players can't spell.
Yeah, all they need is A, right?
All you need is A and 1 and 2. We don't even need to 3. Get to 3.
You don't even get to 3.
We don't need to get to 3. The game ends. Oh wow, he just does catch a bunch of zealots. If you can get this bottom right up, especially the main of that, and then sort of slowly creep up to the mid right. If he splits map, that's his win condition, right? That's the only way I think Just can pull this win out right now. He's in a bad position.
Can you split map as a Protoss? I mean, are you gonna get what, like Reavers and Cannons and Storms?
Reavers, Cannons, and High Templar. Yeah, that's how you split map.
Okay.
Next to the ramp. Okay. And it's actually a lot more common than you think, especially with especially on Polypoid specifically, actually, because it's such a big map and Zerg has a lot of like mobility on this map. You end up figuring like a lot of the streets. This is one of the only ways you can win. If Zerg plays like a macro style very strongly, like if Zerg breaks it for themselves, that's their own fault. But if Zerg is playing macro style, sometimes you just can't break them, and you just need to split map and just play a 45-minute game. We saw well, that was on Circuit Breakers, but we saw Crane and Keen playing a 60-minute game the other day, split map on Circuit Breakers. And I lost my voice that day, but we see Striker maxed out. Just has a good army at 140, but maxed out Zerg is not good for any race.
Yeah, it's always a little bit misleading when you look at that and you think, oh wow, the Protoss is taking really good trades, but in fact, I mean, the Zerg doesn't care. He's just box A move over and over.
Yeah, there's no value to losing lives. You just send them.
Yeah,
and you can't even fit them all on the hotkeys, can you? Right? If you have a maxed out Zerg army.
Yeah, exactly. You just box and you have, I think, your hatcheries on hotkeys, right? So yeah, and we see the Reavers come out now. I think Just agrees with your call here of just going.
I think he heard me through the stream. Yeah, Just is listening.
He scouted first. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of suspicious, but let's just say, oh god.
Oh well, now those cannons are useless, and one Darkstorm and all those cannons are just decoration.
Yeah, those cannons are gonna go down quick whenever Striker.
We see a shuttle, just speed shuttles, and see if he can get something done here. He got a Reaver in there, but he loses the shuttle, so the Reaver does take out some drones. Let's see if he got Burrow. He didn't get Burrow this game. Should have foreseen this, Striker.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a big fan of Burrow. I know I've said this before, but I mean, Burrow's so good. Just borrowing the building. Oh my god, that's a huge.
Dude, that's a Doom drop if I've seen one. Yeah, he's like, oh, if you're gonna put a cannon, 50 cannons and Reavers at the front, I'm just gonna go to the back. My army can fly, and that's exactly what he's doing here. Really a good call by Striker here.
Yeah, good moves. I think maybe Just is I think it might be the beginning of the end here.
Yeah, can we take a look at the mineral count on a mineral only for Just? I mean, we know that mineral. Yeah, that's gonna mine out soon too. So he's just on the bottom 2 bases here. Yeah, I think he might have done Striker a favor there by killing those drunks. That base is just gonna be alive longer now because he's not mining from it. So he's at 120 population, and a lot of it can't even get through this mineral, this lurker field to defend.
Yeah, Striker just taking over more and more of the map. He now has more than half. He's taking the 3 and the 9 o'clock bases, and just showing no signs of being able to fight back. Really, I think.
Yeah, if you want to know what this game looks like, just look at the mini map. You don't even need to look at the big screen. Just look at the mini map. Striker has full control. Yeah, look at this. He's got map hacks on. Someone called Blizzard. This is not fair. Like, this is insane. Dude, Striker hasn't made a mistake. He hasn't played a bad game yet. Like, he's just showing flawless games, and now we see why he's so highly regarded in the NA scene.
Yeah, Striker. You know what? I have him on my friend list. Not to brag, But
look at you.
he's always in a game. He's always playing ranked games. Lately, I've seen him in unranked games, but he's always playing.
I have to disagree with you, man. I've seen Striker in a lot of Run Toddy, a lot of bouncy ball EUD games recently. I played with him in those games. The only times I get to play with Striker, other than one or two times in the last year. So listen, I think Striker is a C rank UMS noob, but he's playing. Zerg is easy.
yeah. So
him and Keen, the C rank UMS players.
Why?
Oh, that's so.
Yeah, definitely.
No, so Keen has been playing a lot of UMS recently, along with Striker and Tim, and myself, and so a lot of Run Toddy, a lot of bouncy ball games, a lot of team melee. So that's how the grudge match. There was a grudge match between Crane and Keen, because Crane said he could never lose to a C rank UMS player such as Keen, and that's the running joke there.
Wow,
and Striker really loves the bouncy ball games. Just doing his best, trying to move out with these zealots, getting some really good storms. But I don't think there's any storms that can even this game out for him right now.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, again, it looks good, but when you look at the supplies, you look at the map. I mean, the Striker, that's a chump change for him. A couple links here and there. He did get the main though. He did get the bottom right main up. I think maybe a drop from Striker is gonna change that. But for now, he has the bottom right, so I think he might stay in this. I don't know. He has a chance.
If you look at the mini map right now, there is just an army of blue moving down to the bottom right. Striker also took mid right. If you can hold that base, like Just can't split map because Striker has 60% of the map. And Just will see this now. Like he's got to also not only has to have to keep these two bases alive somehow and keep these probes alive. He's also then gonna have to break out and try to take out a base of Strikers. So it's gonna be he has his work cut out for him if he wants to figure out how to get back into this game.
Yeah, it's a tall order, definitely. I mean, I think Striker is bent on denying that mineral only in the bottom right corner. But Just, I think he's trying with pure skull.
Oh, there's probably a Reaver in there too, I think, or a High Templar. Either way, you don't want to lose that shuttle.
Yeah, it's gonna be. And I think he's gonna drop again. I think if he takes out the bottom right, I think that's gonna be the finishing blow here.
Yeah, Just putting up more cannons, but I don't think that's what's gonna do it for him now, dude. Cannons are not gonna fix this game, and then we see a Doom Drop coming in. He does have a good defense setup there, but I think there used to be a Reaver there, and I think that's what was in that shuttle. And there's no longer a Reaver there, and now we're just going to see this base go down pretty quickly as some Archons coming out, but I don't think that's two Archons is not going to be enough, and I think Striker's just going to go back and get some more of his buddies, and just going to take out the bottom right.
Yeah, he's attacking the front too. That Reaver's going to go down, takes a couple links out with it, but now these...
Not at the Reaver's eye, he just needs one Darkstorm.
Yeah, well, he's not going to get it. He gets a couple cannons though, but the Storm keeps the Zerg back now. The main in the bottom right has gone down, I think, so not looking good for Just.
Yeah, man, this is a rough position for Protoss to be in. And Just has been playing really well this game so far too. He's not his big, and he just GG's right now. He played a really good game, I think. I think his biggest mistake was he overcommitted on that 730 push. And it sort of allowed Striker to take that fourth up and just take map control from there, and Striker never looked back.
Yeah, that push definitely a little bit lackluster. Yeah, and Striker, again, Striker. I mean, I think I have a feeling we'll say this over and over, but such a late game monster. Honestly, his macro's out of control, and once Zerg gets out of control, it's hard to come back.
You can't make mistakes against Striker. That's just a rule. You're gonna have to play perfectly. And the other thing is that third base, the SimCity. If you guys play Zerg, copy that SimCity, man. That's every single unit have to funnel through each hatchery in single file to their death, and that was and he defended it perfectly, and that's the biggest thing he did to win that game.
Yeah.
As we have a break, I'm just gonna I guess I don't even know what the word is. Promote, right? Matcherino.com/tournament/41660. Code Rumble21. Definitely donate. This is just the first qualifier. There's gonna be 3 more. And then the actual tournament, once the qualifiers are done, is on it starts on February 5th with the group selection on January 29th.
And this might be a good time to plug the Patreon. If we can get the link in the chat.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys want to support Rogues Gallery and continue having like well-organized events with these beautiful drawings for NA and just promoting like just a lot of NA competitions. And we're gonna start hosting show matches. Just feel free to support on Patreon. I know I'm going to after this. I think if you're gonna support Foreign Brood, this is a great place where your money's gonna go to good use, for sure. And I think what is the chat bot? Is a night bot that'll put the link, I think. But
where's the link? Give us the link,
where's
Nightbot.
the link? Yeah, I gotta learn how to use Twitch, man. I feel like a boomer. I'm 28. Am I a boomer yet? Fire. And looking at the challenge bracket, we're in round 3. We have 8 players remaining. So this is what the bracket looks like right now. We have Tai2 versus Boa as the first best of 3. We have Hawk and Kraazy, another amazing game. We have Armada and Red Duck. Armada really coming through. And Red Duck is a very strong player as well. And then actually Striker and Just we just saw game 1 of. So we are almost at the top 4 to see the qualifiers for this. Okay, I have to refresh it. Oh, it looks like Kraazy qualified. So what I just announced was, I guess, the remaining 8, but Kraazy 2-0's Hawk and is our first qualifier. We still have to play out the series to see the seed because and so he's gonna have to play out against the winner of Tai2 and Boa, and we're gonna go into the first game of Boa and Tai2. Tai2 coming in, he 2-1 Machine, Boa 2-0 Tim, and 2-0 Ash Ball to get to here. So I'm really excited to see this. This is my first time seeing Tai2 play in almost a year probably. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Tai2 is a player that I've heard a lot of, but I haven't seen a lot of, actually. That's not to say that he's not a great player. Obviously, I've heard, good things about him. So I'm definitely excited to see how he's going to play ZVP. I know Boa, who happens to be right here in the bottom right as the red Protoss. I know he's a very strong player as well, so it'll be a good match.
We have Tai2 in the top left as the blue Zerg. And yeah, I mean, to paint the scene, Boa, I think, has shown probably the best PvZ in NA, period, that I've seen. We saw him take out Striker, who we've just seen play flawlessly, and we saw him almost dismantle him in a couple of games like a few months ago. We saw him take out a couple of other top NA Zergs. Like, Boa has some really, really strong PvZ. We just saw him last week beat Hawk. Meanwhile, Tai2 is another very, very strong Zerg, and he's probably the most unique top Zerg in the NA scene. And his style is very creative. He'll do a lot of. You got to keep an eye out for Tai2. I remember even Bonnet said when he had Tai2 in RCG, he said Tai2 is the player he's worried most about because you never know what that guy's gonna do. And so I'm really excited to see what this game looks like, what Tai2 does to pull out, because I'm sure Tai2 must feel like the underdog here, given that this is one of the top PvZ players in NA, and Tai2's been out of the scene for a little while. We know Boa likes to go gate expand, so we're going to see this gate go down. It's going to be a 10 gate. He's then going to send this pro probably to 6 o'clock to see if an Overlord is coming through that, and we see that. And if he's not going to go there, he's probably going to go top right. And so we know that he knows that Tai2 is not on the bottom left. You can predict the Zerg scouting patterns here. But I'm interested in seeing what Tai2 is doing right now.
Yeah, Tai2. I'll take this opportunity to mention the one time that I know of that I played him on the ladder. Unfortunately, I did not. I did not get to see the legendary Tai2 builds or playstyle because he 4-pulled me.
Just to get this out of the way, we see Tai2 going 9 pool speed, which is a very, very aggressive opener. He's going to get a lot of lings out very quickly, and Boa is not going to scout him very quickly. He's going to see this a little late. When you're playing gate expand against a 9 pool speed, you want your forage up as quick as possible, and Boa is going to get a little bit of a late read on this, and this is going to work to Tai2's advantage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just noticed there's no hatchery there, so that's ling, that's most likely speed, so we'll see what kind of chaos he can sow in Boa's base right now.
Boa is just gonna see these lings, and he's gonna, if he kills this he's gonna pass it. But let's see what Boa is doing. He doesn't have a forge started yet. We can see that he was trying to set up to get a nexus, and now he's gonna put up the forge now. It's a little late because he got that last scout on not the last scout, second scout, but it's Polypoid. It's pretty much the last scout because the first scout's at 6 o'clock. And Tai2, this isn't over pool speed. This is 9 pool speed. That means he's really going to commit on these lings. If his Boa gets his block off, he's going to try to take down the gateway. I'm excited to see what this looks like. Tai2 is really coming in with an aggressive opening here.
Yeah, and it's more lings from Tai2. There's no, I mean, he might get a hatchery now. He's floating a few minnows, but there's a few more lings on the way, and let's see what he gets done. Gets us around, not quite. Gets some damage onto Zealot's shields. Oh.
So he's forcing Boa to come out. He's trying to get Boa to make a mistake. And Boa, if the block ends, a Boa gets a really good trade on those lings, and Tai2 can't afford to lose lings like that. But he gets a probe there. But his goal is either to take down his gateway or force Boa to come out where he can just go around and get the lings in. His main goal is to get the lings in the base. And now he's trying to force the issue, take down this gateway, but Boa is showing some great micro here. Oh, lings are in.
Can you take down the cannon though? It's about to finish, but
Speed link can take out a cannon before they morph, but he has the zealots.
Oh.
Do we see more lings on the way? We see more lings on the way. Boa's got to get his block back on, and he's not. He's moving out. Oh, he's gonna move back in.
Yeah, he's gonna hold. I think at this point. I mean, so I think at this point, I think you can agree that Boa's in a good spot. Tai2's in a bad spot. What is Tai2 gonna do from here? You think?
Well, okay, so. Yes, absolutely. Boa's in a good spot here. When Zerg goes 9 full speed and you defend it, you're in a great position. We see Tai2 throwing a hatchery in the main. So this sort of indicates that he's just going to link flood him. Because if you look at Tai2's main right now, we see that, is he mining gas still? He's not mining gas still. He has no plans of transitioning tech. He's going to make 50 lings and try to just hammer down the wall and ignore the cannons. That's the only reason, and that's going to be Tai2's follow-up. That's classic Tai2. And that's what we should expect to see here.
Yeah, the no gas really tells you what his plan is. I think pretty much the same thing as in ZVT. I mean, it's lings, speed lings, and if there's no gas mining, no lair, no nothing.
Hatchery in the main, it shows that he's not looking about his economy. He's not trying to get to Hydra Den. He's not trying to get to the lair. It's just going to be larva for Zerglings. And if he hammers down this wall, he can probably win the game. And if he doesn't, he loses. And that's pretty much what this game is going to come down to.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, do you think he has a shot here? I mean,
I think he absolutely has a shot. You can never count out Tai2 for a game. I think that's one thing. I learned how Tai2. I was asking him what he does. He buys replay packs from Zealot. If you know who Zealot is in the Korean scene, and there's like tutorials and guides from Zealot that are translated, and that's Tai2's mantra. And so this is why Tai2's are creative and so effective. He's not showing any of these lings. See, the lings are sitting at 6 o'clock. The other advantage of 9 full speed here is even if you defend as Protoss, Boa has no idea what Tai2 is doing right now. He doesn't know if there are Hydras coming. He doesn't know if there's Mutas coming. He doesn't know if it's 2 hatchery. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know if Tai2 is taking 4 bases. He doesn't know if Tai2 is going ling all in, and that's the problem. So Boa's got to get this Corsair up. He's mining a second gas, which we know he doesn't need, but he doesn't know that. He has 1 cannon. So I absolutely think there's a good chance this works. I think Boa also is a very, very strong Protoss. He's shown very good micro. Tai2 just poking in to see how many cannons are there. And I think shortly, Boa has no idea what's going to happen to it.
Yeah, because Boa, I think, really is just waiting for his next scout on the map is going to be his Corsair, but by then there's going to be a billion lings waiting for him. And I like how Tai2 is just showing him like a couple of lings, saying like, oh yeah, I switched out of this. These lings are just scout the front and keep an eye out. But I think little does he know that there's actually 50 lings waiting for him, and soon they're gonna come crashing in.
I think he's just waiting for Boa to move out. I know that he knows that Boa's gonna move out at some point.
The Corsair, yeah. Oh, move out the Zealot, you mean?
Yeah, if he can move out the Zealot, if he can catch the Zealots moving out, he doesn't even need to hammer down the wall. Does that make sense? He can just run past.
Yeah, but are you gonna?
But Boa just sees this, and now I expect to throw up cannons. We see 2 cannons up, a 3rd cannon going up. Boa knows this is just an all-in with lings or hydras. I don't think he's quite sure yet. He hasn't checked the main, but I think he sees more lings coming in, so he knows what this is. And now Tai2 has to move now before these cannons morph.
Yeah, he has to go. There's 2 cannons up.
Yeah.
There's more coming. I mean, oh my God, is the wall gonna go down? There's quite a few Zealots too. The pros are out. It's gonna be close.
And what's the hatchery? What's the health on the gateway? Is the gateway almost going down? Oh, the gateway goes down, but there's a wall of army behind it. There's 3 cannons, 4 cannons. He gets them past. I think Boa holds.
Yeah, a few lings get in, but it's too late. Just
Boa dealt with this perfectly. He didn't build the cannons, so he absolutely need them. And wow. And we saw classic Tai2, and we saw Boa defending flawlessly.
Yeah, I think Tai 2 missed his opportunity by just a couple of seconds. I mean, there was a time where there was just one cannon and no other cannon on the way, but he just waited just a few seconds too late, and then the second cannon was up, and the more cannons on the way. It was close. It was close.
I think, yeah, I mean, Tai 2, I think, recognized that he's a little bit of an underdog, but this is also how Tai 2 plays. One time, Tai 2 was my coach in CPL, and I have to share this story. I had a PvP the next day. Tai 2 said he would help train me, but he was going to ZVP me. Then he 5-pulled me 5 times in a row, beat me 5 times in a row, and that was my preparation for my PvP. I did win 2-0.
So it worked.
So it worked.
So he's a genius, is what you're saying.
He's either a genius or a moron, and I don't know why, but it worked.
He works in mysterious ways, man.
It worked.
You, but
that was after a 45-minute lecture before I was ready to be trained. So,
that sounds amazing, man.
I do want to watch the second game, actually. Kraazy. Oh, there are people upstairs. Second game? Yeah, I definitely want to see another game. Boa and Tai 2, dude. I just want to cast. I would cast Tai 2 all day and night. Yeah. Also, the winner of this does qualify. So that's one. Kraazy has qualified, and Red Duck has 2 Armada to qualify. So there's 2 qualifier spots left. It's going to be the winner of Justin Striker and the winner of these games. So the winner of the series will qualify in the first qualifier for Rogue City Rumble. Rumble 21, Maturino. Get to it.
The stakes are pretty high now. We're in the round where every winner here qualifies, like you said. So it's pretty exciting.
And I'm super excited. Now we're on Eclipse, 2-player map. I just want to see what Tai 2 has in store for Boa. Boa must be Googling what Protoss Chi's defense. Googling Zealot builds. Taking this break, but Boa is such a strong player, man. I'm gonna have to ask for these replays after this. I need to copy Boa.
Yeah, the early defense against the initial 6 to 8 lings was pretty impressive. He didn't lose much. I mean, he lost his 2 probes, but it's a small price to pay when the Zerg is being that aggressive.
Yeah, especially when he got his forge up a little later than you ideally want against that build. So I think Boa did a great job defending, especially with his Zealot micro has been just impeccable. Like when I do that, I always leave a gap. Things get in, and I lose. So
yeah, I think things can go downhill real quick if lings get in. It never ends well for the Protoss, does it?
That's definitely true. I think lings are not so fun, man. And yet I think Boa taking 30 seconds. I think we're gonna use this time. Get on Maturino. Rumble 21. If free money gets generated, causing inflation, supporting the scene, and that's it's good. Other than that, the next qualifier is tomorrow, actually at 2 p.m. Are you playing tomorrow?
Oh, maybe. By the way, that's 2 p.m. Eastern time, just in case.
2 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. PST.
Wait, what? Isn't it
11? No, 11 a.m. I'm sorry. Don't listen to me. I am.
Wow.
So I was looking at the wrong one. So it's 5. So on Fridays, 8 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. PST. PST works the other way. I'm not a moron. 2 p.m. EST, 11 a.m. PST on Saturdays. So.
Were you trying to mislead West Coast players so you'd have a better shot? Was that it?
Yeah, I don't want to run into Jae-Yoon tomorrow, dude. Jae-Yoon, it's at 5. Just, get up early. Yeah, we have this game underway. Yeah, we have Tai 2. The blue Zerg on the top right of Eclipse.
And down here, the bottom left, red Protoss, it's Boa.
Boa, man. He's like a snake. That's what his name is, right? Well, the way he capitalizes it, I always wonder if it's supposed to be Bank of America and he's sponsored. But I've never asked him. Yeah, PvZ on Eclipse. There's a couple things on Eclipse, right? If you're a Forge Expand type of player, if Zerg goes hatchery first, you have a very good possibility to cannon rush. But we know that, at least from what I've seen from Boa, he's very much a get expand player. He likes to he's very confident in his Zealot micro. He thinks he can get an advantage getting the Zealots out on the field. And so we're going to see now, yeah, he sends a probe back. So, but on Eclipse, though, Forge has a specific advantage, assuming the Zerg goes hatchery first. But this is Tai 2. Tai 2 doesn't know what hatcheries are. So I think we should expect to see gate expand versus some sort of a pool build.
Yeah, and Tai 2, no pool yet, so I'm a little bit surprised. There's still time to make a 9 pool, but what do you... I mean, is there any kind
Oh,
of
that's an
special cheese?
overlord.
Is there any kind of special cheese we might see here on a 2-player map, as opposed to a 4 or 3-player map?
No, so I mean the unique things about Eclipse, right, are that there are multiple paths to the natural. You can hide a lot of units if you go through the other paths. And we do see the Forge. So Boa, knowing what map this is, maybe he's not too familiar with Tai2's style and reputation. But wait, is that actually a... Oh, Tai2 actually is going hatchery first, and Boa went Forge first. So I think we could kind of expect to see a cannon rush here.
Oh, can you cannon rush the same way you can in the bottom left? As in, is there like a, can you put pylons on either side of a cannon? And
Yeah,
then
you can wall off the cannon the cannon completely with pylons, and hopefully we see Boa going for it because it'll be interesting for me and you both. I think he should have kept his... And there it is, and right there, completely walled off. And let's see if Tai2 can defend this cannon.
oh
And we see
man,
3 drones. He's gonna have to jump the drones past the mineral line and then try to affect this cannon rush. Or maybe he can use the assimilator trick. I think he built an assimilator and cancel it, and hopefully anything comes out the other side. I don't know how Zerg has it. It looks tough, and he does manage to get it through.
that's really nice. So now, what is he gonna do? Cancel? Well, he's just
He should
gonna
have
leave.
canceled the pylon, and he doesn't. But he does have another probe coming in, and maybe he could have set up a second wall there, but he doesn't get the probe in quite away. And now actually Boa's a little behind here, because Tai2 just got away with a hatchery first. Boa just made 2 pylons, 200 minerals early on, and a probe, and that probe, Boa is definitely a little behind here. This is not what he wanted to happen.
Yeah, those 2 pylons are gonna go down eventually. That's a significant investment, but he is getting his nexus. He is getting cannons, so I think he'll be safe for now. I'm interested to see how Tai 2 is gonna leverage this advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to remember though, like when he made those pylons, I believe he delayed his nexus as well. I didn't check exactly, but I believe you have to. So his nexus is a little later than he wants it, whereas Zerg went hatchery first. Definitely behind economically. He lost the probe. He has to send out a second probe, and he wasted 200 minerals. Let's see how Tai2 follows up here. We see pretty standard play from Tai2. We see Tai2 taking 12 o'clock. We see Tai2 putting his gas on at a standard time. And we see just 2 lanes. So Tai2 playing more of an economic style this game rather than the game we saw in Polypoid.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I'm sure we'll still see something crazy off of 3 hatches or something, but yeah, for now it looks like he's playing fairly standard.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Boa transitioned from this, because we saw Boa essentially accidentally cancel a Nexus against Hawk last week and still come back and win the game. And Hawk is a premier NA Zerg. So Boa is an amazingly good player, especially in Protoss versus Zerg. So even if he is behind now, I don't know if it's enough for him to even worry too much, because I think he has so much faith in his mid game. Just imagine, like, you cancel a command center, for example, against a very, very strong player. Like, he said he was going to think about leaving. He came back and won the game. Like, Boa is just a very, very strong player. We see a lair going on in the natural. The reason he puts it up in the natural is because the probe's in his main, and he wants, he wants the Protoss to be unsure as long as possible. But Boa does end up seeing the lair.
Yeah, classic tactics there, hiding the lair. I think that's always a good call to keep your opponent in the dark. Build your lair wherever you're...
We see a Zealot going out the middle of the map. He's probably going to go to harass the... Oh, there's already a Zealot up there. Yep, he's going to get behind the mineral line and try to just get good trades and force Tai2 to make links.
So how viable is it to just make a sunken instead of a bunch of lings?
You don't really want to do that. I mean, at this point in the game, Zerg has a handful of drones, right? If you make a sunken, lings are still useful later in the game. You can block scouts. There's going to be more Zealots coming. And he doesn't even have a drone there. Zealots can hurt if you make a sunken and you don't have lings. The Zealots just go kill the sunken, right? Like, because it has to morph. So it's not really super viable, I don't think. And a lot of Zergs don't do it. Definitely a good question, but like without the lings though, what's gonna stop the Zealots from killing the sunken?
Yeah, some good trades there. It gets a lot of value for those Zealots, even though it's just lings. So
yeah, the problem is that lings are essentially, they could have been a drone. So even if you are killing lings, you're sort of killing drones, and that's sort of the concept behind trying to get good trades with these Zealots. We see a Hydra Den going down. We see a 5th hatchery. We don't see a Spire, so we're seeing sort of a 5-hatch Hydra with no Spire. This is susceptible a little to dropship play, to shuttle play, because you don't have Scourge. You don't have really anything to counter the Corsairs or the shuttles, but you do get a very, very, very large ground army. You have a lot of Hydras in a very quick amount of time, and Protoss, a lot of Protosses, myself included, struggle to deal with the style.
Yeah, I think still more Zealots. There's one heading to the natural now, is it?
Yeah, he's testing.
No,
that's a Corsair, yeah, and there's no Spire. And this Zealot is still alive in the 3rd, and there's until Hydras come out, there's going to be nothing to counter these Corsairs, and another Zealot going into the natural.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, is there? I mean, at what point does it? I mean, is it a disadvantage here for Boa to send that many Zealots into? Eventually he's gonna lose them, right? Eventually they'll get cleaned up, but is it still good? Is it still cost efficient to send that many? It's
cost efficient until if the Zerg isn't, and you can see it from this style. Taito isn't trying to make a lot of lings. He's trying to make like 4 lings every time you see the Zealot. He's not. A lot of Zergs will see this and just make 12 lings, right? And then you don't want to send his Zealots anymore because you already accomplished your goal. He sees that Taito's trying to skimp on his lings, so he's continuing to make Zealots because he wants to. First of all, they're still going to get value because the Zerg is skimping on lings, and second, you want to force more lings. If Taito had made a ton of lings right away, yeah. And the DT coming in, an Overlord just pops just in time. There's only 2 Hydras defending this. If the Corsairs can snipe this Overlord, all these drones are going to go down. Taito's aware of this. He's going to have to run. There's 2 DTs, but 2 DTs can straight up fight these Hydras, so he might not even be worried. And the Overlord goes down. Now these DTs can kill all these drones. I think Taito's in a very tough position here.
Yeah, this is rough for Taito. Another Overlord, but 2 Hydras.
Overlord trying to get it out of vision while he kills us. There's no Overlord speed just yet, which is rough because if you're not getting a Spire, you want to get Overlord speed, but he does clean up that DT just before the Overlord dies.
Yeah, thankfully, otherwise I think the game could have been close to over there.
Yeah, no, Taito just barely managing to kill that Overlord. Is that a 6th hatchery? What is that at the 3rd? What is that building? Oh, it is a 6. So we're going to see some 6. We're going to see a heavy Hydra play coming in from Taito.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I mean, is Boa a little bit behind for having made those DPs, you think? I mean, is there an opportunity here for Taito to just make a mass Hydras and maybe not bust the Protoss front, but rather, contain
them? Or maybe bust. So here's the things, like with those DTs early, right? His storm's gonna be a little later than if you made the High Templars first, because normally you make the High Templars at the same time as the DTs, but we don't see any High Templars yet. I think the game sort of evened out a little bit. I don't think either of them is at an advantage, but we got a lot of good value in that recent attack with the DTs at the 3rd. He got some drones, he got some Hydras, he's getting a bunch of Overlords, taking advantage of the fact that Taito is skipping Overlord speed, or it's not done quite yet. I think there is a potential for Taito to be able to just overwhelm, especially if Boa isn't if their High Templar is not coming out right now. He's going to need either a lot of cannons to live, especially as this Hydra, I guess, explosion is going to come shortly. So yeah, I think Taito is in a solid position.
I'm not sure if you'll agree with me, but it feels like Taito has a lot of drones. The saturation looks like more like a Terran or a Protoss even. I mean, look at that.
And we saw that happening with the Zealot harassment, right? We saw Taito skimping on lings. Like, he's been trying to, I think he's trying to set up for a very strong mid game with a very, very large Hydra Lurker army would be my guess. And he deliberately was trying to skimp on lings. He's been trying to drone up as hard as he can for the last couple of minutes, and we saw that in his response to the Zealots. So I think he's setting himself up for a good mid game. It definitely is a very, very high saturation of drones.
Yeah, his defense, I thought it was going, not too well, but actually, I mean, considering how many drones he has, I feel like he's come out in a really good spot here in the mid game. But I mean,
yeah, we see Taito floating a lot of gas, so he's probably going to morph a lot of lurkers soon. He looks like he's going to try to play like a battle Zerg style in the mid game. A lot of Hydra, a lot of lurks, a lot of hatcheries. Stay on 3 base lair tech for a little while, longer than we see all these lurkers. And he's just going to try to go and attack the Protoss head on, just really play combat Zerg rather than, try to secure a fort behind lurkers and cannons. I mean, and Sunkins. Like, I think he's going to go on the offensive once these guys morph.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good strategy here. I mean, Boa on this side, I mean, yeah, he has Templars, he has a few Zealots, but I mean, these Zealots, what are they gonna do against all of these lurkers, right?
Can we look at the robo timing for Boa? Let's see what that looks like. And we see even the populations, even so there is a robo observer just pops out just in time. We see 3 or 4 high Templars, each probably with 1 storm at this point. We see 6 gateways, I believe. And we see with Boa going for the early third. But the population is a little closer. It's, you know, Presto has like a lead, but it's a little close for the Presto comfort. Especially, well, he has 4 storms, but let's see how this goes. All those lurkers are clumped up. He
Oh
needs
my
to get those
god.
into better positions.
Gets them out, spreads them out a little bit. Does he have enough to fight the
Oh,
Protoss
he
here?
storms his own observer though, and there's but he only has 1 lurker left here. Not quite the number of Hydras I expected to see from Taitu here.
Yeah, but from the back, I mean, he's getting surrounded here. There's only Dragoons left, and these lanes do so much work. And then there's another good storm here, but
Yeah, but if he can't snipe these High Templar, like there's not a lot of value coming back. He's just wasting units here, I think, and he's just sending these guys in piecemeal, and he shouldn't be doing this. I think he's gonna sit back. He has probably 45, 50 drones almost at this point. Like I think, and I might be completely off based on the number, but that's the saturation that it looks like. And yeah, and I think he just needs to re-macro.
Yeah, you can see he's floating so many resources. He might have too many drones even. I mean, he's on 6 hatcheries, right? I mean, does
Yeah, he's looking a little. Yeah, he needs to use all his larvae. He's on 6 hatcheries. Yeah, exactly. He should have had way more army at that point, I believe. And he's trying to take his 4th. Now this is a double gas based on Eclipse. So if you can take this, and I don't think Boa is looking for this, because Boa, if you see Boa has a Corsair on the top middle and a Corsair on the bottom right, the 2 most likely expansion spots, and tied to just take. But of course, he's going to see it now, and that's where Boa is going to go take it out now. He's got nothing defending there, nothing that can get there. His lurkers are morphing now. If he rushes over there, they're going to be caught out of position. He's going to waste his army. I don't think he can defend that top left, and he cancels it. He knows it, but there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah. So what's the plan here for Taitu? Does he need to take out of this? Can you just make more units take bases, or?
I mean, well, so he knows that Boa is on 3 bases. You can't really do much about that right now. He needs to get his Hydra count up. He needs to get a 4th up. And he needs to play a game maybe denying the 4th. Protoss's 4th options are mid left and bottom right. And we see him trying to take bottom right. He's gonna have to defend against this push. If he can defend behind the lurker field, tech over to Hive, get a 4th up, he has a good chance. But he's in a rough position right now. He needs to spread these lurkers out a little better. I don't think Boa can break this though. It just doesn't look like he has enough to break this lurker wall. But I think he's gonna try. So let's see if Boa can prove me wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of Zerg here. And we know how quickly reinforcements can happen with factories, but yeah, a lot of goons. I mean, the lurkers aren't really protected by anything. The wings come in now. There's Archon doing a really good job. More lurkers. Oh man, can Taitu hold on here?
Oh wow, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does have enough. What are the upgrades on Protoss right now? We see 2-1 on the Protoss. We see 2-0, so yeah, 2-1 lurkers. Yeah, he's just gonna crack this. Wow, I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, it felt like Taitu had a really strong, a really big army, but GG.
Boa just showing dominating play. Wow, really good play by Boa, and Boa is gonna qualify. So right now we have our 4 qualifiers in the first Rogue City Rumble.
Yeah, we have Boa, we have
Kraazy,
we have Red Duck, and we have Striker. Hopefully,
and
we
you
can
know what we're gonna see now? We're gonna
hopefully
see
a pair.
Boa versus Kraazy, dude.
Oh my god.
Dude, these are probably the top 2 consensus best players in NA. The best ZVP and the best PVZ, and we're gonna see this in the very first qualifiers of RCG. I'm super excited.
Yeah, sure. It's amazing. Sure. Okay. I'll skip. I accept not having a Terran to watch, but if it's for the two of the best players,
I think Red Duck is a Terran, but this is come on, man. You gotta watch Kraazy and Boa. Maybe I'm putting too much pressure on the people upstairs, but
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they choose. Did we get the link for the Patreon out in the Twitch chat? I didn't see it last time we plugged the Patreon.
oh man, yeah, I didn't see it either. but I'm sure it's up there somewhere. Oh, there is Patreon support Rogue Gallery by signing up for Patreon. I'm even gonna comment on the chat. So while we have this break, before we get to one of the best series in NA that you can possibly make, support our Patreon. Support more events like this, and go on Match Arena Rumble 21. Matchareno.com / what is the code /tournament /41660. Generate free money from Mr. Matchareno and help support more of these events. And we're going into our first game of Boa versus Kraazy.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Both of them top players in NA. So
I think they are the two top players in NA. I think, in my opinion, I think a lot of people would agree with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure,
I think Boa, at least I think Kraazy is probably the best Zerg in NA, and then Boa is probably the best Protoss in NA. And this is, I'm really excited to see. Every time I see Kraazy play somebody, a Protoss, it seems unfair. And same thing when I see Boa play, he just dismantles Zerg. So this is a fantastic start to this. I'm excited to see they're going to be fighting for who gets to be the first seed of this first qualifier. Boa saying, I was wondering who Kraazy was. Kraazy is just Kraazy in disguise.
Yeah, that's the Clark Kent equivalent of a disguise, I think. Just putting on a couple glasses there, and
yeah, that's right. Nobody recognizes you. Does that make Boa Batman? Batman versus Superman?
Does it? How does it make him Batman?
I don't know. He's like the counterweight, the other big name. I mean, they're all our heroes, right? Nobody's a villain. Only villain we have is Tai 2. So
sure, but unlike Batman versus Superman, I think this won't be a terrible movie to watch. I think it'll be some great duo to watch.
That was a pretty bad movie to watch. It was cool to see, but it was a terrible, terrible movie.
It was so long, dude. I was on a plane, and I think I just decided I'd rather not watch anything than watch that movie.
That's crazy. I think the last time I was on a plane, a long time ago, COVID. I think I watched The Green Book. Great movie, Marshall Ali. We're about to get into our first PVC between Boa and Kraazy on Polypoid. Boa of the White Clan and Kraazy of KROZZY. We have our red Zerg on the bottom left of Polypoid. We have Kraazy.
And in the top left, the blue Protoss, it's Boa.
Boa. Yeah, I think we can probably expect a gate expand from Boa on this map. I think he did a fort expand on a 2-player map because you have the potential of cannon rushing, which he did try. Didn't work, but every time I've seen Boa on this map, I've seen him do a gate expand, and he's very, very strong with it. However, Kraazy, when he defends against gate expand, I know that he goes for a very aggressive response. Some Zergs like to try to make as few links as possible. Like we saw even Tai 2 in that last game against his Zealot Harass, it wasn't a gate expand, but other Zergs see a gate expand and they see an opportunity, and I think Kraazy is one of those Zergs.
Yeah, Kraazy, from what I've seen, he does stream regularly. I think it's twitch.tv/Kraazy TV, something like that. Anyway, you'll find him. It's Kraazy. It's the guy. He's very aggressive, and I say aggressive, not cheesy, because he's actually a very good player too. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I think we'll see him play with Lings a lot. He'll definitely try to flex his APM on his opponent, I think.
The first thing to highlight is that Kraazy's got a 9 pull here, which is a very aggressive opener. He even does the drone trick to get the extra drone. Meanwhile, Boa is going for a gate expand. If we look at the position of this gate, it's designed to make a... Let's look at the position of the gateway on the natural for Boa. And it's designed to have a 1 zealot gap. So this is actually really... it might be 2 on the right, but it's a lot easier to defend than doing the gap in the middle. Kraazy's going to go scout the drone up, but Boa is now going to see this 9 pull. So what he's going to want to do, similar to against 9 pull that we saw against Tai 2, he's going to need a 4 drop because these slings are going to come out fast.
Yeah, so I mean, is the Zerg behind if the 9 pool is scouted like this already? I mean, it kind of feels like he is, right?
You expect to be scouted, right, against any good Protoss, but it's still very, very difficult for the Protoss to defend. We saw Boa showing really good defense against Tide 2 last game, but Kraazy Zerglings this is Kraazy, you know, so let's see if he can get something done with these Zerglings. I think he might be able to. Although he is chasing this probe, I think he sees an opportunity, because if he can get this probe and then be aggressive, he can also deny the scout in the future. And we see a one zealot gap. I believe this is. I'm not 100% sure if it's sealed on the right side of that pylon. I believe it is. But this is the best wall you can make if it is a one zealot gap against a 9 pool build.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Boa. I mean, he's had extra time, right? The Lings went after the probe, so I'm sure he won't have any problems defending this.
And now Kraazy going in, trying to take out these zealots. Boa putting in his probe. The probe allows the zealots to hit the Zerglings. But he just does take down one of the zealots. But it looks like he's finished making Lings.
This is really close, actually. I mean, I'm surprised he lost both zealots. He does get a third one out, so he's gonna be fine. But I think that went a lot better for Kraazy than it did for Tai 2.
Yeah, and Kraazy recognizing that he's not going to get too much done, he forces the Forge and the Cannon before the Nexus. Look at the Nexus isn't even started. Meanwhile, Kraazy used this build to get 3 hatcheries up before the Protoss started the Nexus. So even though his 9 pool, you can argue, failed, he actually didn't overcommit. He made 6 Lings, and now you could say that economic advantage, or he's going to be very shortly once he gets these larvae up and making drones. And Boa had to do this, had to make the cannon, had to make the forge, and all Kraazy did was make 6 Lings. He's gonna have to make more Lings now, and you see another Ling here. And Boa is gonna continue to force this. I assume that he's gonna continue to force. We know that Boa likes his zealots. He's gonna, and we see another one coming now. He's gonna make sure that Kraazy can't just drone up and get a big advantage against him.
Yeah, the zealots screaming across the map. Yeah, not too surprised. I mean, it's going to be a little bit hard to stop. I feel like maybe Kraazy is someone who will not be afraid to make more Lings and then use them, more aggressively than Tai 2, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure. I think he is more. Tide 2 is a very, very aggressive player. Kraazy is also aggressive, but in a different way. Like Zergs have a very, I guess, wide spectrum of available styles. And then we see Kraazy now going up to 8-9 Lings. And this is what Tide 2 didn't do. So he does have a Zealot in his third, but he has enough Lings to sort of clean them up now. And if he doesn't lose too many Lings defending this now, then it's going to sort of dissuade Boa from making more Zealots, since he just sort of made these all at once. Although Boa is trying to get as good trades as possible, this is a great little hole to be in. Although he is getting hit by 2 Lings at once, I think we should expect the Zealot to go down shortly, or he's going to live. Wow. Zealots are tough guys, man.
Yeah, Zealots are pretty strong, man. Who knew?
Who knew? And and Boa is going to continue making Zealots. And we see his target going up for Boa. So despite the opener and despite 3 hatches before the Nexus, Boa is recovering pretty well and getting a lot of value out of these Zealots. And Kraazy just gonna come. Drones are like, all right, we're gonna have to just take care of business. These Lings aren't doing it, and
So
he does.
Is Kraazy going for a lair? He has 4 gas, so he mined some gas, and now he stopped. Is he going for mass Ling or something?
We see Speedlings. We see 5 hatch. I believe that's another hatchery in front of the natural. Yeah, I'm baffled as you are. I mean, I assume we're gonna. There is. I don't believe there's a lair. At least unless we're missing it. So yeah, is he going for a Speedling all in? What's happening here? Yeah, we see 5 hatcheries. What is this building here on the right? Another hatchery?
What is
this? 6 hatcheries, no lair, no hydro den. What is happening here?
Is this a thing? He must have missed something, right? He must have missed the layer or the hydro den or something.
We must be missing, like, there must be happening. There's a hydro den. So he makes 6 hatcheries before a hydro den. We definitely couldn't have missed a lair. Unless I mean, like, I don't have great eyesight, but I don't know how I could have missed a lair. Yeah, this is a crazy build from Kraazy coming out. He's pulling out all the stops for a Boa here. 6 hatcheries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hatcheries before Hydro Den. So we're not gonna see Overlord speed, and we're not gonna see anything. We're just gonna see a metric fuck ton of Hydras.
Yeah, it certainly seems like that. I think that's an accurate estimation of the quantity of hydras we're about to see. I mean,
That's a scientific number.
Yeah, of course, it's a constant.
The unit was discovered by Sir Dr. Fuck, and it's and yeah, I mean, and Boa finally gonna see what but I don't think when Boa comes in, he's not gonna realize that these hatcheries he put up before the done, or maybe he did. But he must be sensing something odd because this is an odd early number of hatcheries. He definitely never. Oh, there's a layer starting in his third, and Boa does not see it because he hasn't checked the third since the layer has started. Check the main. So he might be thinking Hydra all in. He's going to use his Corsair. He's probably not going to make any more Corsairs because, you know, yeah, he's making more. I'm wrong. Boa is the PVZ god here. I don't know anything. But see how Boa responds against this. We see a second gas. He's just going to start mining gas from it now and Evo chamber. I'm excited to see what this turns into.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Kraazy is he's gonna have to make a lot of hydras, right, to defend against the Corsairs and make sure he's not perma supply blocked at least. But I mean, where does he go from here? I mean, is he just gonna make a ton of hydras and is he all in? I mean, it doesn't seem like he's all in yet. I don't know.
I don't think either of these guys are all in. I think this is a really odd, seemingly all in build from Kraazy, but he has a lot of drones. He has the capability to make a lot more drones. You know what I mean? He can make a round of hydras, take a little bit of map control because I don't think a Boa has his high Templars. He's got to defend against the Cell push. And after that, you just make a round of drones. And look at this great Sim City. Everything's gonna come in single file, like a school assembly. Like he's gonna defend really well here. And single file zealots. Let's see if Boa can get anything done because this is still Boa, and Kraazy having to pull drones to defend this. We have to remember this is Boa. Like he's not no slouch.
This is a pretty good attack. The Zealots got in pretty easily on top of the Zealots, and now the Corsairs took out a ton of Overlords. And
Dude, Boa's 6-7 Zealots at 8 minutes and 50 seconds do more against Kraazy than my 8 Zealots at 7 minutes against an 1800 Zerg. This is absurd.
Has no Overlords, I think. He's at 6.
Oh, I didn't even notice. He has 0 Overlords. All his populations come from hatcheries, 1 at a time.
That's insane.
That's insane. He should make 30 more hatcheries so he can make some units. Oh my god. Oh, apparently Strom does this every time against me. Well, maybe if you didn't do this, you would win more Strom. Crazy facilitating some trash talk for Strom. But I mean, Boa is showing how to beat this build. But Kraazy just made, what is this, 8-9 Overlords at the same time, but they still don't have speed, and there's 5 Corsairs.
Yeah, and his Hydras there, they can't protect the Overlords. I feel like, I mean, okay, he can protect these Overlords, but it's rough. I feel like the Corsairs have such an easy time going around and picking off Overlords and
when I saw this build, I thought you should stop at 2 Corsairs, but Boa says the opposite. You're not going to get Overlord speed for so long. I'm going to make 5 and use my multitasking skills and kill all your Overlords. That's exactly what he did. Really impressive from Boa. And he used the Zealots to provide cover, and we saw, oh, the Zealots aren't doing too much. I mean, they're doing a lot. He has to pull drones, but the real damage that came is while he was attacking with that, he went and killed every Overlord he could find.
I mean, the Zealots traded fine. I mean, I was surprised at how easily they got in. They ran through, between the Hydra and the hatch that's a bit forward at the natural, and then they got on top of the Hydras there. And so I think Boa had a good trade on the ground, and I mean...
Yeah, he got a much better trade on the ground than I expected, that's for sure.
Yeah, he has a lot of Zealots too now. I mean...
Boa has a commanding lead on this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Kraazy to come back. I mean, hopefully Lair Tech kicks in, and I don't know, maybe he can make some lurkers.
I mean, Lair's been up for a while. Overlord speed just finishes, as you can see. Now these Overlords don't have to stumble away in their walkers against these Corsairs. I was gonna say these Kraazies, but these aren't Kraazies; they're anti-Kraazies. So yeah, I mean, I think Boa has a really good positioning. He's using the Zealots to get. Oh wow, he just flies them over some Hydras and loses 2 Corsairs right away. So that's a good some plus for Kraazy there.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Overlords probably breathing a sigh of relief back at home, thinking they won't die nearly as fast as before.
Yeah, I think. I mean, listen, I would never count Kraazy out. This is still an amazing Zerg. So, and we see he's got his Overlord back up, and now he's macroing. He didn't lose too many drones in that attack, and we do know he droned up pretty well. So and Boa doesn't have his third up or anything. Good storm, great storm.
Yeah. So, I mean, so Boa is still on 2 bases.
Oh, he snipes the High Templar.
Oh, yeah, good. But you know, Kraazy's economy seems pretty decent. He's taking a 4th. Is the pressure on Boa right now? Because it seems like 4 base Zerg. That's starting to get a little bit scary if you're still on 2 bases as the Koras, right?
Well, if Boa loses all these zealots, I think he's giving up a lot of map control. Because Kraazy has the capability to make so many more units. I don't think Boa can afford to lose these zealots like this. I mean, he got a good trade, he got a good surround, but there's too many Hydras. I think these Hydras are going to snipe the High Templar that are there, and there it is. Zealots without High Templars against mass Hydras are just... Oh, another great storm, though. So, I mean, Boa getting value out of the storms he's keeping, but he can't lose any more High Templar, I don't think.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, we saw the Corsairs there try to find some damage, but this time Kraazy has more supply than you know, 1 per hatchery. He's still quite comfortably on 127 supply ish. So you know, things might be looking up for Kraazy here.
Yeah, I think longer this game goes, the more Kraazy can try to even this out. Bo is very, very strong, but I mean, obviously he got the best of Kraazy in the early game. But Kraazy getting his 4th base up, his 3rd gas, and Boa getting a mineral only. So I mean, it's if he can get this into the mid game, but he can't keep losing Hydras like this either. Boa is macroing really well. He's got 1-1 done, and Hydras are only on 1-0. I'm assuming Boa has 2 forges. If he's that solid of a player, let's see if there's a forge in the main somewhere. No, he's only on 1 forge. So, and it's spinning, but we should expect to see either 2-1 or 1-2. But Boa's, yeah, man, he's trying to play a longer game, I think. He's not trying to just kill him with a 2-1 push.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, considering his supply lead, considering he has storms available and Kraazy mainly just has Hydras. I mean, we'll see. So where does he go from now? I mean, you know, what's Boa waiting for to attack here, you think?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, I think it would be a fool's errand to try to end the Zerg now, especially when it's Kraazy. That's how you lose this game, especially if you underestimate someone like Kraazy, you're just going to go lose. I think he's trying to get that Protoss Death Ball up. He doesn't have enough Storm quite up yet because we know that he lost a lot of Storm to a lot of High Templars to the Hydra snipes, and he got some good Storms off, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have a high count of High Templar. And you can't really go on your Protoss Death March until you have, 4 or 5 High Templar each with a couple of Storms. So I think he's trying to set himself up strong for the mid game. I'm not quite sure if he knows about 6 o'clock. I assume he thinks it's there. He's setting up 12 o'clock, and he's probably going to set up for a strong push towards the bottom right of the map. I don't think he's going to get a lot of luck going straight down. I think he's going to have to play this out and play the economic game. There's no real way to end Zerg, I believe. At least he doesn't have that much. And he's going straight down. Maybe he's going to just try to end him. But let's see how this goes for him.
Yeah, this seems kind of rough. I mean, there's a bit of high ground to the right, which definitely helps if you're defending here. So I'm kind of surprised to see this. But maybe Storm can just equalize everything. But do we see any Templars? There's a couple.
How many Templar does he have? I see 1, 2 Templars. Like, is that 3 Templars? I mean, that's not... It probably has 4 or 5 Storms between them. I don't know if that's quite enough to break that. And now he's making the better decision, going down to the bottom right, and seeing if he can get a good angle there or catch some units out of position that are moving over to defend it. At the meantime, Kraazy, he's going to take out 12 o'clock.
Yeah, good decision, I think. Is he going to get the base, though? He's lost quite a few units already.
There are reinforcements coming, yeah.
Yeah, okay, he's going to keep the Nexus, pick out a couple cannons, but meanwhile, oh god, he doesn't get the block on the ramp. And the egg is already dead.
Oh yeah, Kraazy can't afford to lose the space, that's for sure.
He's going for running like...
Yeah, he didn't succeed in taking out the 12, but hopefully for him, he can take out the mineral only base for a base. He's got a horde of army coming up towards the base, and Boa's army is running back. He's probably leaving a couple of units at 6 o'clock to try to finish it off, but he's running his main army back to defend, because otherwise it's just going to be a straight beeline towards Boa's rally point, and you don't want that.
Yeah, this is actually pretty crazy. I wasn't expecting a base straight to go down there. I mean, is this going to play in Kraazy's favor? It looks like he's coming back. No, he has too much, right? The Protoss has too much.
I have to think this is in Kraazy's favor. I mean, yeah, I think Boa's going to clean this up. but Kraazy just took out the third, and I think he saved his fourth from dying, right? I don't know if his fourth is still alive. Let's see. Oh no, it actually didn't live. My bad. But I mean, at least he did take a base out, so it's still 3 bases against 3 bases, which isn't good. He's got a secret mid right base going up. Kraazy's definitely at a disadvantage here, though.
Yeah, I think not getting the 12 o'clock from the Protoss was a big deal. If you know those cannons weren't there, if he had just a few more units and he could have taken down that Nexus, it would have been a much better trade. But now, yeah, I think being on neutral bases as the Protoss is not good.
Not good at all, and his army isn't really in position. He had those lurkers, but he has to run the lings and hydras in, and most of the lurkers are gone at this point. He's got 2 left, and one of the 3 left, and so, but he's back at. Kraazy is so good at just counterattacking and sending a little unit over there and just causing a headache, especially when he knows the Protoss army is on the other side of the base. Let's see if he has better luck this time trying to take this out. If he can take this out, he can get back in the game, I think.
Yeah, this is almost good. He's gonna defend. I mean, it might work. Oh my!
He's got the lurker block. Wow, fantastic! He's gonna set another one up behind it. Yeah, really big brain play.
Probes. Is he gonna get the Nexus though? I think that'd be pretty huge. He defended his mineral only. That's great. I mean, if he gets this, he's gonna get the.
He's not even targeting Nexus. He's just trying to get the probes, and I think that's still just as good. I mean, at this point, you don't want to be stuck making probes. Like you see, Boa's population is down to, what is that, 88? It's a little blurry to see this, but wow, like he really, I think he evened out the game here, taking out all those probes out there. I think Boa's mined out in his main. Close to mining out is a natural. To lose all your probes out your main mining base and to lose your mineral only, I think Kraazy's fought himself back into this game.
Yeah, I think, I mean, you know, like we said, Zergs never mine out. So, I mean, you know, Kraazy is still on 3 bases, which is pretty great. But Boa now, he has 3 bases, but he's only mining off of 1 base. So, I mean, I don't know, is Kraazy suddenly in a good spot? He's still behind in.
He's put himself in a good spot. He's made some. So what's been amazing from Kraazy is his decision making been really good. Boa has no idea about mid right. He checked it out first when Kraazy first trying to put it up. So Kraazy didn't put it up. When that Corsair left, he put it up after. I don't think Boa knows about it. And so Kraazy took himself from a disadvantaged position. He's got all his probes here because I'm assuming he's mined out of main and natural. Main is out, natural is, yeah, pretty much out, and this is his only, and he lost his mineral only. So these are pretty much all his probes, and this is all his mining, and if Kraazy can stop this, he wins the game. Kraazy is doing some really good decision making this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty impressive. I think Boa is just gonna go for it now. He has nothing left. He has no economy to protect it. He's just going for it, but is he gonna...
This is a Hail Mary.
Is there an observer? I don't see an observer.
I don't see an observer either. I see Storm. I don't think he has enough Storm to kill all the lurkers. I think Kraazy takes this in a nail. I think this game lived up to exactly what we expected. Boa was an advantage for a lot of this. Kraazy just showing his class as well.
But hold on, he did. Boa did hold on to his base at the 12. Surprisingly, I don't know what happened, but he did hold on to it. So he might not be out just yet.
Yeah, but he's at 74 population here. He's got all these dragoons, but he's got 5 dragoons that are gonna melt soon. He does no idea about mid right, and he's setting up a mineral only right now. I mean, he can get back into it. But I don't see, if Kraazy were to take another base right now, let's say he takes 6 o'clock again or bottom right, there's not much Boa can do about it. He doesn't have, this is his standing army right here.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have much. His army is too small now. It's prone to getting picked off by, you know, just a bunch of lings remaining and surrounding it. So he is in a and yeah, like you said, the right base, the base on the right, the 3 o'clock is still up, and I don't think it's ever gonna go down, which is huge for Kraazy. It's allowing him to.
He's taking out the mineral only. Cracklings will take this out so quick. Oh, great Storm. He might just save this. Never mind. I think Kraazy's done it, man. He's taking out the mineral only. Now he just got to focus his attention. He's got to just sit back and macro a little bit and just take out 12 o'clock. I think, and we see a swarm of red coming up. Oh, how did we miss that? Was that a zealot drop? Where did that go down?
Oh, you're right. It's dead.
I missed that completely. Oh, no. Well, no, we can blame Kraazy. But yeah, I mean, okay, so Boa staying on top of things while defending 12 o'clock, while trying to defend his mineral only, while trying to pressure across his mineral only, manage to multitask and take out mid right, and that's a really good job by Boa, not going down without a fight here.
Yeah, this is tough to call, man. I mean, without the secret base on the right, I mean,
now
we
this game
joked
is
about,
pretty even. Yeah.
yeah, we joked about how Zerg's never mine out, but I mean, 20 minutes in, it's pushing it. I mean, he's gonna mine out eventually, and then what happens,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, let's see. This is pretty. These guys are not letting up, and I think this is probably one of the best quality of games we can see in NA, like between these two guys. Kraazy gonna try to press the issue, but I don't think he's gonna have a lot of luck.
Yeah, there's a DT in there. There's no Overlord in sight. I think this DT is going to clean up.
Wow. 6 kills on that DT. 40 shield, 80 health. Wasn't even brushed up against. Nobody even bumped into that DT. It's absurd. But Kraazy, I think he's gonna try to set up a contain here. What do you think his game plan is here?
I think he's just gonna go for it. I think he just desperately wants to kill the 12 o'clock. Or maybe he'll just contain the natural and then go for the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, maybe like cut off the reinforcements and then go for the 12.
Yeah, I mean there's not much points of interest in the game, right? I mean it's the 12 o'clock and that's about it. That's the only relevant thing in the game right now, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a game of can Kraazy get another base and can Boa keep up the clock. And Boa coming around and surrounding Kraazy. What is Boa doing it, dude?
I think he is, man. I think those High Templars are just too
Kraazy's
good.
mining out. Kraazy is on one. Kraazy is not mining.
Is he killing? Okay, no, never mind. That was a DT. Okay, but
Kraazy is not mining.
Oh my god, the lurkers.
I think Boa did it.
I think so.
Wow.
In this situation though, I mean, not mining minerals, but you're still getting gas. So the Torah is at an advantage because you can just make Templars, and Templars turn into Archons, and even without Archons, you just have Storm.
Wow, and GG from Kraazy. Dude, Boa is a god.
Yeah,
I don't know how you pulled that one out, dude.
That was amazing, man. Couldn't tell. It was a real nail biter, to be honest.
That was a real nail biter. Two really, really good players here.
Yeah, that was exciting.
I'm very happy I got to see that, and I hope we get to see more of those games, man. Kraazy and Boa, fantastic game on Polyploid. The other side of the bracket right now is Red Duck and Striker. All 4 of these guys are qualifying for the tournament. We're just trying to identify who's going to be the winner of the first qualifier.
Oh. Are we rebooting the stream? Okay. Yeah. Do we have any updates on the Red Dog versus Striker match? Do we know what the score is?
I have no idea what the score is. Yeah, no clue. They're all going to qualify though, and the winner of Kraazy Boa is going to play the winner of Red Duck Striker. Probably going to be another amazing game. I do want to see the rest of these Boa Kraazy games, man. This is like watching like our own version of, Bisu Queen. Like it's nuts. It's nuts the quality of these guys.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to see it, and I think on a complete spectrum of skill, these guys are pretty high up. Obviously not pro gamers, but we're getting to the point where it's like it's top notch play, and so it's a lot of fun. It's almost like they play a different game than us.
Absolutely. I mean, the levels of depth and the levels of skill in Spirit Aura is insane. Like, there are players that I can't even imagine being as good as, and those guys have players that they can't even imagine being as good as, and that goes up another 6 times. You know what I mean? Before you get to even like the top levels of players, like it's the level of skill in StarCraft is absurd, and we just got a taste of like tiers. There's levels of this shit, and Kraazy and Boa just showing us what the next, what it could look like.
Yeah, sure.
Game 2 is going to be on Eclipse. You have any predictions? What do you think? You're not getting a lot of Terrence to watch today, NinjoOb.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all right. It's fun. It's entertaining. I'm watching it more as a viewer, honestly, since I don't have much to add to the cast. But yeah, I mean, 2-player map, PvZ. I mean, I think it's just gonna be more of the same. I think we'll just see. I think these two players, I mean, it's just one game, but I mean, the way their play style lines up is really entertaining. I mean, I think we can expect more, crazy counterattacks from Kraazy all the time, and Boa with this, amazing control and really great timing attacks. Sure, it's going to be a great game.
The stream is actually closed for us, Kraazy, on Discord. Yeah. So I guess the game has started. We're gonna see it shortly. Let's see it here. Okay, so we got Kraazy on the top right of Eclipse, the blue Zerg, and the red Protoss Boa on the bottom left. And we see coming out. We saw against Tide 2, we saw Boa go for a forge opener. So maybe that's something he likes to do on Eclipse. Let's see if he does it again against Kraazy. Or if that was, and again, you can't really do it unless the Zerg goes hatchery first, so we have to wait and see what Kraazy does.
Yeah, all right, sure, I'm back now. Yeah, looks like it's gonna be Gateway Expand again from Boa, right?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah. And so this is an odd thing. So when you do Gateway Expand, you typically either, if you're doing a 10 gate, right, you'll go and mine another mineral. If you do a 9 gate, you'll keep your probe there. Maybe you'll mine another mineral, but Boa scouted after the pylon and then put a gate. So if Kraazy sees the timing of this probe, he might assume, and we see Boa, I guess, lagging a little bit. He might assume Boa went forge expand based on the timing of the probe. That's that pylon scout. So it's not typical for you to pylon scout and then put a gateway down. Maybe it is. I haven't seen it. But so this might actually mislead Kraazy. So let's see if he diverts his build or anything as a result. We see Kraazy going for the overpull here. So pretty standard play here, and that hatch and the pull placement behind the mineral line blocks the zealots from running around a little bit from behind. You can't really park your zealot the way you can do on other maps, but you can definitely circle your probes around. So it cuts off circulation a little bit for the Protoss.
Yeah, sure. One of those small details, small little things that always helps.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta make all these small optimizations. That's how you differ from a top player and a top player. And we see Kraazy with 4 lings. I'm very curious to see what's in the rest of those. We have C6 lings, and since this is a gate expand, we see the first zealot moving across the map. From what I know about Kraazy, he responds very aggressively to gate expand with a lot of lings and tries to force the issue. And we see more lings, I believe. If there's more lings, those are more lings. So, a very common thing on this map is to send your zealots to the third, especially if they go hatchery first, which wasn't the case here because you can really harass, especially with that narrow ramp. But Kraazy getting his hatchery up correctly, getting a lot of lings. I think Boa's going to have to play defensively, throwing up a... Well, he still throws it up. His Nexus up at 21, and then he puts up a Forge. So he's playing a little defensively here. He's not putting up the gas before the Forge or anything. So let's see if Kraazy can take an advantage out of this.
Yeah, I mean, there's this little game when the Zerling pop out and there's no cannon, there's only Zealot, where, exactly this, where we'll see the Lings kind of poke the gateway and then the Zealot will chase, but then they can't chase too far, otherwise the Lings will try to get in. Few more Lings on the way for Kraazy. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy. I mean, this is a 1v1 map. I mean, do you think there's anything in particular that we're going to see from either player?
Nothing yet. I mean, everything looks standard so far. We see 3 hatch, gas, and we see Boa doing a very standard build. We have to let it progress a little more to see exactly if anything odd is going to come. The thing about 2-player maps like this is that it's actually a little more difficult to get away with doing something funky because the first overlord is in your face, right? And so if you're doing a 4-gate speed lot or if you're doing a 4-gate goon sees, his overlord is literally in his base because it goes straight there from the first second of the game. So it's a little hard to get away with funky stuff, in my opinion. But let's see if Boa plays a straight up game. I pretty much play straight up on Eclipse. I think Eclipse is a fun map, mostly because it's not like Fighting Spirit or a 4-player map where you can sit at a natural, take a natural as your third, and then go up to four bases. Just camping a little bit. There's no real methodology to do that on Eclipse. Everything is a solo base. So because it's a 2-player map. So you have to play more of a battle style as Zerg, in my opinion. So let's see. It makes more exciting games, and both of these are pretty aggressive players. So I expect to see a lot of mid game fighting. And we see him moving out with 4 zealots here. Is that 5?
5 zealots moving across the map, but a lot of links from the Kraazy. So how? I mean, I think from what I've seen, these zealots, they're kind of expendable, right? I mean, you can send them, you can lose them, and it's not that big of a deal. You can still hold at your
Expendable is definitely the wrong word, I think, because you need to get some value out of them. We see him bringing them back. The point of these zealots is to force links. So you want the Overlord and you want the Zerg to think you're attacking with these 5 zealots. So Kraazy is then forced to make Zerglings. But if you lose these zealots, right, your push that's going to come at around 7:30 or 8 minutes is going to have 5 less zealots, even if you force these links. Now, the win-win situation here is you go out halfway, you force the Zerglings, which we saw Kraazy have to make another group of links, and you send the zealots back. And now, by the time you have +1, and when you actually push at 7:38, those lings are useless as well because they melt zealots rather than, so you'll get a much better trade. So I think Boa did the win-win situation here, and just made a really good decision there. He just pulled back.
Yeah, sure. It definitely seems like it.
We see him getting the +1 speed, the +1 on the forge. We probably have a Citadel coming up and a Stargate, second gas, and we should expect to see a 7:38 minute timing, similar to what we saw last game, where he's going to send out the speed loss and try to take out the Overlords. And once Zealots have +1, Lings are useless against them. So that's the idea. He's just going to try to not let Kraazy make drones as much as he can and try to kill Overlords.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see an Overlord just sitting there. Usually, the Overlord pokes in and then makes his way out and tries to hide around the, corner of the map. But anyway, Boa just going straight across the map. I guess he's curious to see what exactly Kraazy is doing, and then probably gonna head on home as Scourges are gonna pop. Does he have a Spire? No, he doesn't have a Spire. So he's just gonna.
Well, his lair isn't quite finished yet, so he doesn't have the Spire.
Yes.
He's got 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And but we do see early second gas despite the later layer. So maybe that means lurker. Maybe that means fast overlord speed. I mean, we have to see what that means. And we see the Evo chamber 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hatch Hydra. No lair, well lair now, but he looks like he's gonna play a battle style similar to how he played in game 1. Where we saw him make a lot of hatcheries before his Hydra den, but this time he's not being quite as greedy. Is that the word? Greedy, a little, I don't know, cocky, but he's playing he's still going to play an aggressive style, I would expect.
Yeah, sure. I'm really curious to know what the idea was behind that build, because I don't think I've ever seen it, or at least I've never noticed seeing that build.
I think maybe he thought he was at a much bigger advantage than he was, because he knows he got his 3 hatcheries before Protoss got his Nexus up. And we see the 8-minute timing coming in. That's a lot of zealots. And remember, he didn't lose those 5 zealots from earlier. So, and now they have +1. So these links can't engage these zealots. And he doesn't. He has a few hydras there. He has a few hydras there. A sunken morphing. I think if Boa presses the issue, there's also a bunch of overlords there as well. And he's got 3 corsairs. So if Boa presses the issue, he can probably get something done.
So, yeah, he can hold the front there. He has a nice wall. Does he have lurker? Is he gonna morph eggs at the third? Is that his plan to defend that base?
Yeah, he's not close to getting lurkers just yet. But Kraazy SimCity is really good, and Boa decides against. So if you remember when Just played Striker, I believe, and Just lost those zealots because he saw a good SimCity, saw a good defense, and he overcommitted. Boa is seeing a very similar look from the Zerg, and he's not overcommitting. So this is the right decision here. The purpose of this, I guess, push isn't just to sort of try to kill drones and the overlords. It's also to make sure the Zerg isn't too greedy, right? And he sees that the Zerg hasn't been too greedy. He sees a lot of Hydras. He sees Hydra speed. He sees Hydra range. There's probably overlord speed, and he's validating all of these things. The overlord speed isn't quite done yet, but the point is to validate all of these things. But he's still pressing the issue because these overlords don't have speed.
Oh,
to kill out these overlords.
Man.
Yeah, you can sacrifice these zealots if you take out 6 overlords. This overlord speed's a little late.
It feels like we're seeing a repeat of game 1. I mean, this attack result coming in. Except, I think this time they didn't trade all that well at all, but they did still get quite a few overlords, man. So
a lot of overlords. Yeah, 4 or 5 overlords there. I don't think he lost too many zealots, and he did damage. I think it was worth it. I think he got. Those Corsairs got a lot of work done. He also didn't make a lot of Corsairs. He's doing this off of 3 Corsairs. There's no Overlords here. He's cleared out the Overlords. So he doesn't even need to overcommit on cannons to defend this. And that's one of the big risks of losing Zealots because he has a DT here.
God,
and his Storm is done. He got his Storm done quickly. Like, I think Bo's in a great position here.
Yeah, that defense, I mean, you know, just 1 DT, I mean, like you said, there's no Overlord speed, or at least it wasn't done at the time of the attack, so I mean, just with the 1 DT and the Storm as a bonus, really just dealing a lot of damage to the Zerg army, so...
Yeah, man, if there are no Overlords, DTs are super strong. I remember I was watching a JOI stream once, and he was like, I'm just going to kill the Overlords. I'm going to take like an 8-minute 733rd. I'm just going to put a DT there, because you can't kill it. And yeah, I mean, if you don't have an Overlord, man, DTs are impossible to murder. So... a lot you can do, but he did get one High Templar snipe. He got second one snipe before he got both of his Storms out. If he can snipe, he's only got 2 High Templar left, and if he can get those, all he has are Zealots. And Zealots by themselves are not amazing, especially at 11 minutes into the game.
Yeah, sure, they go down pretty quickly. And I'm pretty impressed with Boa's play. I mean, he always gets himself into a good situation. Everything he does in PvZ seems to really work out really well. I mean, it's really impressive. I mean, I'm wondering what Kraazy is going to do here. He does pick up a couple of High Templars. Is he going to deny the third? It looks like it, right?
Kraazy is doing really well, yeah, because he's, I think Boa's trying to take his third, but Kraazy's, I don't know if Boa's observers are out yet. Kraazy is essentially dividing his reinforcements. First observer just pops out, but all he has are Zealots, and you don't want to fight Zealots, and so he does end up making Boa cancel the third. You don't really want to fight Zealots against Lurkers. Like, it's not... I've tried it. I tried every game. It doesn't work, so I lose a lot. So Kraazy making a lot of good decisions, not overcommitting. Now he's going to run back to his side of the map and see if he can defend this. Or maybe he'll go around and cut off reinforcements. Like, there's a lot you can do on Eclipse because of the nature of the map. But, like, there's 2 paths that go to the same area, and you can circle around, you can flank. And there's a lot of ways to leverage this if you have good map sense.
Yeah, it seems like a Kraazy. It seems like a map Kraazy would really enjoy, seeing how many different ways you can go about the map. Now,
yeah, I think Kraazy has a great position here, dude. The Boa's on top of a ramp, but Kraazy has a great arc.
Yeah, it looks pretty close. I mean, the Storms at the back are really strong, but there's so many Hydras coming down from the hatcheries, man. He's gonna be pushed back here.
Yeah, and he doesn't have Storm left. So now this army doesn't look so scary without Storm. It's just a bunch of Hydra. This is a PvT army. This is a PvT army at 7 minutes in. Like, he's, yeah, I think with the reinforcements, if he kills all these Dragoons, I think Kraazy can take map control and not give it up. Like, it's gonna be tough.
Oh, and he has a couple Hydras there. But the DT repaying the favor there, denying the fourth. Nope, it does go down. Very nice.
And we saw Boa do that the last game too, though. He took out the mid right, which you could argue probably is the reason he took that game. Right? If Kraazy had the mid right, I don't think he loses. So I mean, Boa is really good at multitasking. He just is always. We can't even catch you watching the game. He's doing it while doing all the game. You know, playing the game, like, it's nuts. But he does have a large Dragoon count. He didn't lose those Dragoons in the middle of the field, and he rejoined them with the other Dragoons. If he can get his High Templar count up again and get this third up, I think Boa can be in a strong position in the mid game.
Is this similar to how they would play in PvT? How Protossers can lose Zealots, but as long as they keep the Dragoons alive, they're they're in a decent spot.
It's similar, not exactly. Like, it depends on the unit composition you're going for as well. But yeah, you definitely don't want to lose Dragoons. You can say it's very similar to PvT. Yeah, but in this situation though, like in PvT, you can just get rolled over by mech. I think Storm, it's a little bit of a different dynamic.
God, there's so many Dragoons. I mean, these Lurkers aren't going to do much, right? Is there an observer? I don't see it. Is it there? It's not there.
Yeah, I don't see an observer. And is there an observer coming? I don't see an observer coming. I think Kraazy can hold this. That's really good news for Kraazy here, and he just barely holds this army looks terrifying. He's got
I think this
like
is
18
really
Dragoons.
Fortunate. Yeah, it's really fortunate for Kraazy. I think he was going to lose this easily if there was an observer there. But thankfully he's going to hold it.
Oh, I don't know if this is a good idea though, like pressing into the Dragoons when they couldn't attack into you. I think maybe he was trying to do is try to snipe any observers, but there aren't any observers. But he's going to take out that group of Dragoons on the top. So that's good, but we see Zealot reinforcements coming out the bottom. What does Kraazy have to defend this? Oh, they're going for the hatchery. Is it worth it though to give up a? Okay, so he takes out the hatchery. He's gonna try to run out, but I don't think these Zealots are gonna make it out to their families. It's gonna be.
Well, you say that. I mean.
Oh, you're right. Every time I doubt Boa, he proves me wrong, and that's happened every single time.
I mean, Zealots are good, man. Might be a hot take for a lot of people, but Zealots are pretty strong, actually.
I don't know. I don't know anybody. I don't know Terrans that would agree with you. I don't know Zergs that would agree with you. Nobody would. I think that's the one thing the StarCraft community can do. Yeah, that Zealots are good. Zealots are strong.
Okay, so there's the Observer. So now the Lurkers gonna get focused down by the Goons. The Zealots coming back. Can Kraazy hold this? I don't know.
I don't know. He's sending up a lot of reinforcements. Does he barely hold? I don't want to doubt Boa again because every time I do, I'm wrong. But yeah, I think Kraazy will hold here.
Yeah, it seems like it. Just a few too many Hydras.
Just a few too many. But I mean, behind all this aggression where Kraazy's constantly defending, Boa got his third up. I think he's starting to think about his fourth on the top mid left. Like, yeah, and that fourth goes up right now. Like, I think Boa's in a very, very strong position here.
So, you know, one interesting feature about Eclipse, though, is the bottom two right bases. For me, you know, as a Terran, I'm never expanding there. I don't know if that's a mistake, but I feel like I can never expand there because they're too far. And, you know, Terran wants to have their whole army together, or, you know, Zergs can defend those bases easily on their own. Is it the same here in PvZ? I mean, who can claim those bases?
I think both Zerg and Protoss can claim those bases. Those bases are a little easier to defend because they have ramps, like those narrow ramps. If you make cannons, put 2-3 Zealots on the ramp until Zerg has Defiler, there, you know, you get a very, very good trade if the Zerg and like a High Templar. It's almost impenetrable until the Zerg has like Defiler, and even then you're gonna get good value. So Protoss does take those, and Zerg takes them as well. Same reasons. Lurkers, Spores, something on top of the ramp. They get such good value. If you have to kill it, it takes so much more than what it's worth. So yeah, in PvZ they definitely get taken. I do see a lot of but the problem with that is that your army flow naturally doesn't go that way, right? If you're a Protoss and you're trying to harass a Zerg fourth, you want to take that top mid left because your army is going to be able to defend it a little easier. So it depends on the nature of the game, but those bases are easy to defend, but they're very out of the way.
Yeah.
And so if, like, let's say a June drop or something happens, your army is going to be across the field most likely.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, yeah. So Kraazy moving across here. Looks like he won a significant fight here.
Oh, the probe transfer.
Oh, and the storm on top
and
of
the
it.
storm, yeah, those are trader probes. Oh, more probes. Did we get more storms? No, but this is a big deal because that was like 15, 20 probes, right? Or maybe less, but like it was a significant amount of probes.
Yeah, the Protoss supply has plummeted suddenly. I don't know if
Kraazy's overtaken them.
Yeah, it was. Suddenly it's not looking good, but I mean, I don't want to call it again because we know what can happen when Boa is playing from behind.
He plays better when we doubt him.
Yeah, but
he's losing 10 more probes here. He's mined out of his main. I think he's mined out of his natural. He's losing his fourth. Yeah, he's mined out of his natural. He's only mining from one base. We saw a similar situation before in the very last game, and we thought the game was over, but he pulled it off. So let's see if he can do it again.
Yeah, this doesn't mean anything, right? I mean,
yeah, no, the regular rules don't apply, but he's just losing 3 more probes here, and he can't afford to lose probes anymore.
Yeah, I think even Boa can bring this back.
Even Boa can break this. Yeah.
The DT though.
DT, well, never. Yeah, we got. That's how Boa got back in the game last game. I think it was a DT in a shuttle, taking out a third.
Yeah, hit that cakey, man. Free win.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You think it only works with a turn, but it's all matchup. Protoss versus Protoss is the biggest offender for DT wins.
Sure, yeah, it's an all-star, man. Good in every matchup.
An all-star. It's a triple threat. We see Boa trying to set up to take bottom right. Kraazy needs to make sure that doesn't happen. That's the only way Boa gets back in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's really hard here for
more probes.
I mean, he keeps losing probes. That High Templar goes down. Yeah, he doesn't have much going. I'm surprised we don't have an Overlord here yet.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I feel like he needs to keep an Overlord with him at all times. And that Overlord, it's a lazy Overlord. It's on vacation. It's on furlough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good storm.
Good storms.
Yeah, really strong. I mean, He can't come back from this, right? I mean, the third's gonna run out, right?
I feel like if I say that he can't come back, he's just gonna come out with carriers or something, and I'm gonna be wrong. So I don't wanna. Look at these storms,
Oh
man.
my
These
god,
are. I think he gave his keyboard to Jangbi. Kraazy needs to bring an Overlord here. This GT has 9 kills.
There it is. My god, gets a lurker. Amazing.
I can't lie, I'm rooting for Kraazy just so we get a game 3.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna get a game 3, right?
Yeah, I have to root against my Protoss brethren. Yeah. Yeah, and he's at the. This is the entirety of Boa's army. It's these 2 Zealots, these 2 High Templar, and this Archon that's trying to form. As he sits out of this, he's not going to be able to. He's not really going to be able to get out on the map anymore. I mean, he's going to eventually mine out of his third. I think this is GG.
Yeah, the 20-minute
43 to 100.
Takes down the wall.
Hydras are always good, man. Don't ever doubt the Hydra.
Yeah, I wonder why Kraazy hasn't gone for the third yet. He really fought the army over and over, got the natural, but it's like he stayed away from the third. I think it just might be too hard to push up there. You think?
I think he doesn't want to let Boa get on the map. I think he's worried about Boa on the map, right? He's not going to get a good trade if he moves up. He doesn't know what's up there. If there's a High Templar up there, he can lose. He doesn't really have that much of an army. Like, he has a big advantage over Boa, but this isn't too many Hydras. So I think he's trying to play this as safe as possible. Make sure Boa can. And Boa, he gives Boa an inch of breathing room. Boa gets 4 Zealots on the map, right? Although he does shut it down, and Boa calls it GG. Another great game from these 2.
Yeah, GG. Nicely. Really fun games so far. I'm looking forward to the ace match now.
Yeah. And keep in mind, both these guys have already qualified, so we're going to see these guys again later in the tournament. Just to repeat, for if you haven't heard, today is the first qualifier. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, qualifier number 2. January 22nd, next Friday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. PST, is the third qualifier. January 23rd, Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, is the fourth qualifier. Each qualifier will see 4 players go to the actual tournament, the main event, which will then start on February 5th, which is Group A. But January 29th, the winners of each of these qualifiers will be able to select their groups. So it's not just the top 4. They will qualify, but there's also a ranking. And now we're going to see our first game on Sylphid so far.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't seen a game 3 thus yet.
I'm going to take a 1 minute quick break. I'll be back.
Sure. So on the other side of the bracket, Striker has won, so he's in the finals. That means Red Duck is in the top 4. He will advance to the main event. But the winner of this, Boa versus Kraazy, is gonna play Striker in the finals for that top seed. So stay tuned.
All right, we're going into game 3 shortly on Sylphid. This is our first game on Sylphid.
In case you missed the announcement, Striker won his match on the other side of the bracket, so he's waiting for the winner of this match.
Nice. That's super exciting. No matter who wins this game, so we're going to see either Boa or Kraazy versus Striker. And we've watched Striker all night, and we've seen him play pretty flawlessly. And to start, we see Boa, the red Protoss, at 12 o'clock on Sylphid.
And in the bottom right, we have Kraazy, the blue Zerg.
I mean, we've seen both of these players very aggressive. We see Boa loves his zealots, and Kraazy likes his. Honestly, like that first game where he built all those attributes for Hydroden, like it was almost like an obnoxious build to watch. You know what I mean? Like it was like super confident, super aggressive, and it didn't pan out. But that was a very close game. The second game played a little more standard, and he pulled out the win. Although Boa showed a lot of good moves. I think losing those probes sort of cost him the game. He lost maybe 20, 25 probes while transferring.
Yeah, I mean it's you know, for me, I'm really just watching this as a spectator, and it's really amazing how, you know, there's a lot of back and forth. I think much more than in other matchups, at least in Terran matchups. You know, there's a lot of, you know, you think, oh well, you know, now Boa's in a unlosable position, right? When he was attacking the 12 o'clock with all the goons, and he was just missing that observer, but you thought, you know, come on, he's gonna roll this pace. But turns out Kraazy can defend it, and then he comes back, and suddenly Kraazy's massively ahead. I mean, you know, insane games all around, and I think it's going to be no different here.
Yeah, one thing I want to note is that there's no way to have like a one zealot wall on Sylphid, at least in that position. So, and I'm sure once Kraazy sees this, he knows this. And we know that with the gate expand, we see a Boa going for a 10 gate, I believe. Maybe it was 9. I didn't really catch the exact timing. I believe it was 10 when he went back to mine. So, and we know that Kraazy likes to respond aggressively to gate expand. So I want to see if he can take advantage of the fact that there's a gap on the right and the middle. There's no like seal on this position.
So one thing I already noticed is that Boa scouted with his probe towards the right, and he kind of he went towards the 3 o'clock base, and I think he didn't see an overlord, and then he started going across the map. The overlord was already passed though, so I'm kind of a little bit confused as if.
So what? Yeah. So I think Kraazy sort of tricked him a little bit. I think he sent his overlord straight up, and so normally you send it straight to the natural. I think he sent it in a different position because Kraazy knows that Protoss on this map looks for the overlord, and he didn't want to give Boa that advantage. So Boa didn't see an overlord there, assumed Kraazy was bottom right, but Kraazy outthunk him this time.
Yeah, that
and
was.
And now you can use this drone to sort of glitch out the zealot to delay it from getting to your base in time before your lings get out.
Yeah, some Warcraft 3 unit blocking here going on. You have to be careful though. That drone can go down pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I see a lot of Zergs learning how to do this, and so it's just one hit away, so he's got to be extra careful. He's at 11 health. One more zealot will kill that. He's probably going to use that drone to go take his third down. We see that going down to 6 o'clock, and that's normal because you know the zealot's not going to follow him to 6 o'clock because it's just not going to get, you know, you want to get it into the main, or I guess the negative position in the natural, and got to get some trades. So Kraazy taking the mineral only, which is interesting, instead of taking one of the mineral high ground, the gas high grounds. And he built looks like 6 links here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I mean, and now there's 2 zealots. So 2 zealots and a probe can take 6 links pretty easily, especially with good micro. But Kraazy is showing better micro here. Takes out the probe, and I don't think these zealots are going to get anything done.
Yeah, that was really good by Kraazy. He dealt with that really easily. It looks like for the first time, I mean, Boa's Zealot harass is getting, I wouldn't say completely shut down, but it looks like it's getting dealt with pretty easily here.
Let's look at the gas. Yeah. So we see a lot more links popping. So Kraazy's going to go and force the issue. He knows that there's another zealot on the map, and this is just links. Everything, all this coming out are links, and I think he knows about the Sylphid. Yeah, there's no zealot in the natural. He needs at least 2 to block that with the probe on the right side. So I think Kraazy can really take an advantage here. There's no cannon up. The forge isn't done. Boa played a little greedy. He put the gas up, I believe, before the forge, and Kraazy might not let him get away with that. You see, this is giant gap on the right.
Yeah, I thought.
That's what I was mentioning earlier on Sylphid in these positions. You need essentially 2 zealots and a probe. A zealot and a probe on the right, and a zealot between the forge and the gateway to block this properly. And I'm sure Kraazy noticed that as well.
Well, he's still getting pushed out. I'm surprised, but more lings on the way. So I think we're gonna see more aggression.
He's gonna try to probably take down this gateway, and yeah, I mean Boa has to pull 8 probes just to not die right now, and that's not good news for him.
Yeah, these probes are dancing around.
I think he should try to get some surface area, get the forge also. Like he has enough for lings, you know. Like it's and now he's doing it.
Yeah, the cannon's about to finish, so it's gonna be close. He's gonna fight with his probes. I think the gateway's gonna go. Yeah, it's getting close.
Yeah, gateway's gonna go down. These are all the zealots he's gonna have for now. 3 zealots is enough, I think, with all these probes. And yeah, he puts another gateway down, or is that a forge? I'm not sure exactly what he put down there to defend. But yeah, more lings. It's gonna be a ling all in. There's a gateway, yep, and just more lings. We saw Tai2 try this against Boa, but Tai2 wasn't playing on Sylphid.
Yeah, Tai2 didn't get much damage done. Now the gate did go down. I mean, is this gonna work? I mean,
I think it might work, man. Tai2 did it off a 9 full speed, but this is on a good economy. And the lings run by. They have speed. They're gonna take this cannon down, dude. I think Kraazy just took this game.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you can't stop this anymore, right?
This is over. There's no cannons that are gonna come up. There's no gateway finish. There's gonna be no more zealots. This is game. GG.
Yeah.
Kraazy takes it. Wow, great game by Kraazy, showing how to beat Boa.
Yeah, aggressive play, man. It works out. I'm really impressed by the confidence. You know, you go for it. You know your stuff. You go for that build, and he made it happen.
I know Strom is watching this and taking notes. There's a lot of Zergs watching. Okay, so the answer is to make a lot of lings. It's not the answer, guys. Violence is never the answer. I'm excited to see Kraazy go into the finals, and we're gonna see him go up against Striker. Want to hear a fun fact about Striker tonight?
Sure.
He hasn't dropped a single game. He's 2-0'd his way all the way from round 1 to the finals, and now he's gonna run into Kraazy.
That is impressive. I mean, it's to be expected, but also impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's been walking over easy players. Yeah, he played Art of Turtle, then he played Nesh, then he played Just, then he played Red Duck. These are all strong players. He hasn't dropped a single game.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't see Red Duck games, but we will see him in the main event, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, Red Duck did qualify, so he's going to be there, and Boa did qualify as well. So we're just trying to identify who the winner of the qualifier is, who gets inside the group, and we get to see Kraazy, who I believe Kraazy only dropped one game, and that was to Boa that we watched. So it's gonna be Kraazy and Striker. I'm excited for this finals. I think it's a ZVZ, so I think we're both going to be a little lost. And I believe Kraazy's a Terran, so all three of us are going to be lost. So I'm excited.
Yeah, but
we're all going to learn about this together.
Yeah, ZVZ never goes past 10 minutes, so I think hopefully we can manage.
That's true. I've already called my Uber. That's a right. What are your thoughts? What are your guesses? What do you think between Kraazy and Striker, two of the strongest Zergs in NA?
I mean, this is okay. So this is just my impression, right? But I feel like this is a matchup that Kraazy would love. Just seeing how much he likes to play around and with lings and run them around, and really flex his control. Striker is no slouch either, though. But I feel I don't know. These are really just impressions. I don't know these guys ZVZ at all, though. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anybody's ZVZ at all. I don't know. Yeah, but so I'm excited to see what this looks like. And we see this is Striker, the undefeated Zerg tonight on the top right in the blue.
And in the bottom right, red Zerg, Kraazy.
I think the first thing to look out for, right? I think there's a little bit of like rock, paper, scissors, I believe, right? So like there's 12 hash, 12 pool, and then 9 pool. And there's obviously other variations, but I think there's some builds, I believe, like for example, 9 pool would kill a 12 hatch, but a 12 hatch is an advantage against a 12 pool, and there's things like that. So let's see what these openers look like and see how they deviate from each other. See who's greedy and who's not.
Yeah, from what little I know or think of ZVZ, rather, I mean, what you want essentially is to get your pool just one step after your opponent, right? Because then you can squeeze out a couple more drones or maybe a hatch just a little bit faster. But you don't want your pool to be so late as to just die to the lings that are going to show up.
Right.
So I think that's how I see it whenever I have to watch a ZVZ in ASL, for example.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. So you just want your pool to be a little later. We see Striker getting his gas before his I guess that's an overlord in one of those drones. So he's gonna go probably for a very fast layer, I would guess, right? And that's the only reason you get a gas that early. I guess it could be for speed.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, we see Kraazy looking like he's gonna do a 12 hatch. Is it? Yeah, that's what he's going for, a 12 hatch.
This is really interesting. I don't think I've seen such an early gas from a Zerg in a ZVZ. I wonder if it's going to be some sort of, maybe he just wants to. Is he going to go one base?
I guess, yeah. I guess that's something you do in ZVZ, right? I guess you can stay on one base Whereas because if you do a 9 puller, I guess you'd be on one base for a pretty long time. If you get your hatchery in the natural, sometimes they only use it to mine their gas. And we see Striker just now getting his, Kraazy just now getting his gas, and Striker in the meantime. Let's see if he goes for lair. So he's at 200 gas. Oh, so he's waiting for the pool to finish, and he's probably gonna get the lair right away. Maybe lair and speed right away. Let's find out.
Yeah,
The lair goes up and 120 gas. So he's not gonna. Oh, he doesn't have the minerals for the speed yet.
Oh, because he made links maybe at the same time. But I mean, I think the cost lines up, right? I mean, he was piling up gas to be able to get speed and a layer. Yeah, I think there.
And he just started speed. Yep. So that's the early gas. He gets the layer, really fast layer, really fast speed. Meanwhile, I think this means he's gonna get mutas so much quicker than Kraazy. Kraazy's layer, like he just is he doesn't have the gas for a layer yet. Like it's.
Yeah, I think it just started now, unless that was speed. But I think you have to get layer first, right? If you go 12 hatch. Yeah, so I think it's on Striker, and I think that's the point of the build, right? He's going to probably be aggressive and get his mutas hopefully in the Kraazy's face before Kraazy has any means to defend himself, right?
Yeah, I mean Kraazy's advantage here is that he has much more larva than Striker, so he could try to maybe link flood him up this ramp or something before the mutas come out to kill him. But if he can't do that, he's gonna maybe need to put down an Evo chamber. We see the Spire going down at 328, and I don't think the lair is probably even halfway done for Kraazy. And Kraazy's not going out on the map with these lings, so I don't think he has no idea what Striker is doing just yet. He knows that Striker doesn't have a hatchery up. That's what he knows, and I think he can assume. So now he knows that he needs to go be on the map with these lings and get some pressure up. But if he can't do it, if Striker micros this correctly, like I think Striker's mutas might end the game.
Yeah, well, Striker has a lot of links on top of his ramp, so I think it'll be. I don't think Kraazy can break this, right? Not now, at least.
Yeah, I don't think Kraazy's speed is finished. I think he's probably gonna wait for his speed to finish before trying to go up. But then you have to deal with his arc, right? Even though he has more lanes, it doesn't matter because you're fighting in a limited space. And now he knows the predicament he's in. I wonder if he throws out an Evo chamber or something. No, he has a Spire. Let's see how he defends this.
Yeah, his Spire isn't that far behind. I'm kind of surprised, but still, I mean, if the mutas come in and are able to get a few hits,
There's the Evo chamber. Yeah, I mean, the Spire is like 40 seconds behind, and that's more than the travel distance between the two mains. I think by air. So
yeah, that's too much. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll need the Evo chamber to at least mitigate. It's a buy time.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if we're gonna see a link flood, like you said. I mean, that's definitely, I think, what we see. The guy who has the larva advantage will try to force. The link flood might not win the game, but it forces the mutas to stay at home, and mutas aren't that good at chasing down speedlings, so it takes a while to deal with them. So maybe that's. I wonder if that's what Kraazy's gonna go for.
Yeah, we see Kraazy putting up the 2 creep colonies to put up spores. He put 2 in the natural, 1 in the main. And Striker putting up a second hatch in base, killing the Overlord before he gets out. But I think Kraazy is going to be able to defend. He got the core. He's not even morphing the spores yet, which is, okay, now he's morphing them, but I guess he feels comfortable given that Striker took the time to kill the Overlord first before coming over.
I think he was a little bit stretched on resources because I think he's building his mutas, and the spores at the same time. But he's taking a couple of hits. It's all right. Scourge.
Yeah, I mean, Kraazy has the advantage of more larva, and he's got a second gas coming up. So the longer this goes, the worse it is for a Striker, I believe. Striker has this early advantage, but the longer he needs to get this done early. He doesn't have that second. He has a hatchery in base, but he's not going to get a second gas from that. So he's gonna send the lings out, see if he can try to snipe a spore or something, kill some drones. He probably has I don't know if he has a ling advantage, but he's gonna have to try to get something done. Because the longer this game goes, the more Kraazy comes back in and comes to an advantage.
Yeah, I feel like Kraazy played this pretty well. I don't know what Striker can do. I mean, he has some mutas, but not enough to fight the 2 spores and the lings. I mean, Kraazy has a good defensive setup, so I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do. So I think it's a tough spot for Striker.
Yeah, Kraazy played this perfectly. Like I was a little scared for him, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He had his spores up just in time, and now he has I think he has an advantage going into the mid game. Like he has a supply advantage here. He's got a larva advantage. He's got defense. He's got a ling advantage probably. Like now he's gonna have a muta advantage, and I don't know what Striker can do about this.
Well, he found a little bit of damage there. Got a couple drones, a couple of lings. But yeah, I mean, this game is slipping away from Striker. So yeah, I think he's gonna go in here.
Yeah, and we see the muta is trying to go engage. Kraazy has Scourge, Striker has no Scourge, and that gives you an advantage because while the mutas are running away, you can still pelt them with your. And now he has some of his own Scourge. He put a Sunken up just in time, and I think he got a good trade on all those. Two lings make it, but they're very badly damaged. I think one muta shot will kill both of them, and it does. And so now it's. I mean,
wow, Striker has a lot actually. I'm surprised. He might just be able to win this. Two nice Scourge connections.
But he's fighting a sport colony, dude. And oh man, is he gonna take it down?
Yeah, he is, but
no, it's not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough. Yeah,
I think that's right. A game.
Yeah, that was close.
So now there's a 5 supply advantage. They're sending a lot of lings over, but there's still a Sunken in the natural, and there's still mutas, and but this muta is trying to get some damage on the drones.
Yeah, you know, and Kraazy's on 2 gas. It's not looking good. I mean, the Sunken's really nice, and the setup, forcing the link to run through the middle line, I think that's just too much for Striker.
Yeah, for sure. Striker, I mean, had a great build, but Kraazy defended it perfectly. Yeah. And Kraazy taking game 1. Well, Kraazy just showing, man. That guy is so good.
Yeah, that guy, he's really aggressive. Sometimes I think borderline cheesy, but he's also very smart. He's a very so I think that makes him like a really scary opponent. That's
a hallmark of a great Zerg. The guy who can play like any style, like super not cheesy, but like super aggressive and low drone, and then switch over into a large economic style and just be aggressive nonstop. I think those are all skills to be a really, really good Zerg. You can't be a Zerg and sit back and play like a Terran, for example. Like you can't really get away with that.
Yeah, that takes too much skill. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, playing single player must be tough, but you know. Oh man, but yeah, I mean, Kraazy just showing his skill there because Striker looked impenetrable all day, and even early this game, I was like, "How is Kraazy going to pull this off?" And Kraazy just showed he was in the driver's seat the whole time.
All right, so up here, top right corner, the blue Zerg pieces, we have Kraazy.
And in the bottom left, we have the red Zerg Striker. They swapped colors, so I gotta make sure I don't mix it up. This time, Striker is red, and Kraazy is blue. Let's see what their early builds look like. I mean, Striker brought out a pretty good build last game. I thought that looked, you know, he got his Spire up 45 seconds before Kraazy, and Kraazy had no problems defending it.
Yeah, it's always yeah, I think there's definitely some rock paper scissors dynamic in this matchup, and yeah, I mean, I think we'll just have to wait and see. I don't think it really matters that it's a 2-player map. I think ZVZ is not. I mean, I'm sure people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, does the map matter all that much? You know, if you have your main and your natural 1 gas each.
Trust me, the people will correct you if you're wrong. That's one thing they will do. They will not. People are not shy, not in this community.
Sure, I mean, I'd welcome it, to be honest, because my view of ZVZ is incredibly simplistic.
Yeah, no, mine too. It's like, okay, so who's got the mutas first? Okay, who's got the lings first? What's the drones? Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we see both of them going for an overlord, it looks like. There's an overlord. And there's an overlord. I'm doing pretty good so far.
Yep, accurate casting.
Thank you. That's what I'm known for, even though Boa made me look silly every time. Kraazy going for an earlier pull. Wow. Oh. No, sorry, that was Striker going for an earlier pull. Kraazy going for a sneaky.
Yeah, very, very cheeky hatchery here. I wonder if it will get scouted. I mean, I think, you know, if you manage to block your ramp before the Zerg gets there, or I mean, if there's no scouting before you can block your ramp, I mean, maybe he can fool a Striker.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, overlords are slow, right? And you don't really get to see what the Zerg is doing until you're in the main. If you don't see a hatchery in the natural, you're assuming that he's going for an early gas, early layer, right? Like, or a hatch in main, and you're not really gonna know what's going on. What he's really sending drones out, right? So this is a really good idea by Kraazy here, because he's gonna completely fool striker up until something goes up and sees the main base, and that's gonna be a little while. Like the Overlord is still even like a while away from getting to the main. He's gonna see first there's no natural. That's the first thing he's gonna see, and then he's gonna adjust accordingly, and then he's gonna find out it's a 12 hatch. So and we don't even know when he's gonna find that out. So Kraazy playing some really good mind games here. Although the Zerglings are out, and I don't know where Kraazy's pool is at right now, but it's oh, it is done. Okay, and then he's got Lings, the layer started. So, and he's gonna be able to defend this properly, especially if he keeps his Lings on top of the ramp, like you said. If he doesn't let the Lings in, then it's gonna be forever and a day before a striker even knows what's going on in this game.
Yeah, I think both players just finding out now about the natural. Well, of course, striker doesn't quite know what is going on. Yeah, the link gets denied. So I wonder what's going through striker's head here, seeing no hatchery at the natural. The lings are there to block the ramp, so he's gonna be a
He
little
must be
bit
imagining like a fast layer, right? Like a fast spire, similar to the build he did last game. Similar to the build that Striker did last game. So he might be expecting something like that, and just for that, in reality, they're doing the same build.
Yeah, and you can see the Overlord keeps going, and it's gonna scout into the main, just like Kraazy is doing. So he's gonna. I'm pretty sure he's gonna find out, right? I mean, you get here, you see the layer's not done yet, so it's probably not one hatch, right? So I
Right.
wonder what Striker's gonna do. He has a lot of lings. Is he gonna force his way up?
He's gonna try. I mean, Kraazy's getting some good trades here. He's rotating his lings, I believe. He's getting some more in. Like I think, I don't know if Striker has enough to get up this ramp. His layer just finishes.
Doesn't look like he's gonna try to bust up the ramp, but yeah, I mean, I wonder if he knows. He must know, right? I mean, it's easy to assume because we know that, you know.
No, yeah, but he must know, because like I guess one of the most important things in ZVZ must be like, hey, when does the spire go down, right? And I've only watched one game, and I saw that when Striker did the build, the spire went down at 3:30, and the spire is going down at 4:15. I 100% know, like Striker must know that something funky is going on.
Yeah, sure. And
I don't know if he knows what it is, but it's definitely not that he went, that there's not a hatchery somewhere.
This is huge, actually. The lings came out from Kraazy's hidden base, and I think they caught Striker off guard here. He wasn't expecting to get sandwiched. Like, oh god.
Wow. Yeah, he did. Oh, and that's what that hatchery was for, because he had the lings containing the main, and Kraazy wins.
Wow, that was
wow,
fast and unexpected.
What a good build. I guess this is a build that's specific for Eclipse, and really, really, really good showing by Kraazy here. Just running through the brackets.
Yeah, this just, you know, it confirms my suspicion that this is really a Kraazy matchup that he just loves. You know, sneaky tactics like that. I think that's in his wheelhouse.
What matchup isn't a Kraazy matchup, right? I think this guy could probably play. Yeah, he could play anything. And this means that Kraazy wins the brackets, and that means he is gonna get to be. I guess he's gonna be able to select his group. He's gonna be one of the 4. So he's gonna be able to pick out who he wants to beat, and that's a really big advantage, especially going into the tournament.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. So just to recap, we have Kraazy out first as the first seed. We got Striker, Red Duck, Boa, all advancing to the main event. What else? We have another qualifier tomorrow, 2 p.m. EST. That's 11 a.m. for our West Coast friends. What else is there?
Yeah, I mean, support the Matcherino, matcherino.com/tournaments/41660. The code is Rumble21. Generate free money. Support us on Patreon to fund more events. And this time next week, Friday and Saturday, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, is going to be qualifiers 2, 3, and 4. A lot of good players actually got upset today, and so we're going to see a lot of quality play for the rest of the tournament. So I'm excited. I'm going to be playing in some of these qualifiers. I'm going to get wrecked. And I'll probably be casting again for some of them. So I'm excited to see how the rest of this goes, and definitely join us.